late.
Yeah, I know. We're super late. But guess what? I got a new intro for the show. So there's that.
Awesome.
So sit back and shut the hell up for a couple of minutes.
This is a warning to all living mortals. That who shall ever open this chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Okay, cut it. This isn't going to work. Let's try some nostalgia bait.
It's smiling strange. You looking happily rain. I can't settle in bed. Or have you picked your target yet? It's ending. Don't you talk back? It's ending.
Okay, that was better. But let's try something a bit more cinematic.
Hey, where my broken arrows at? They try to tell us we can't fly. Like we too broken or something. I mean, I'd rather let them know. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. All the way up. Get them balls 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 all the way up. Broken arrows get bows up. Sometimes I pray with my nose up. Thinking about when the world crumbles and my whole squad just goes up. Ain't gotta worry, we straight like an arrow, yeah. Ain't gotta worry about faith, nope. I'm on that straight and the narrow, yeah. I just go straight like an arrow, yeah.
Yeah, that's the shit I like. Let's start the Barroom podcast. Take it away, Jacob.
Hello, everyone. We are here for episode 111 of the Barroom Podcast, and I could see everyone was laughing hysterically, enjoying our brand new intro there. And there was a few Easter eggs there that some of you guys picked up on, especially there for Rick.
That's a scary thought. Yep. That would be me. You did a great job, Jacob.
Yes. I noticed that he was the only one that didn't get an AI intro. I just left his completely alone. But outside of that, we're here for episode 111 of this podcast, and I have a lovely group of people joining me here tonight. Let's go ahead and introduce everyone down the line. Let's start with our good buddy Eddie Brock. How you doing tonight, Eddie?
I'm doing great. Is my hair okay? I got such a tiny box. I'm like, oh my god, it can't fit.
I mean, it's not nearly as pristine as Loki. So I mean, there's that. So
I love that picture, by the way. That's exactly me. A+ on that.
Mm-hmm. Also joining us tonight is our good buddy Orange Hat. How you doing tonight, Orange?
You turned me into a fucking Hulk. I mean, I love Hulk. Don't get me wrong, but I need to be an Orange Hulk.
Yeah, there's no Orange Hulk. I don't got that much time to invest in AI. Also joining us is our good buddy Cider, Dutch Angle, as he's been calling it today. How you doing, Nathan?
Yeah, right. I'm just like falling off. What's wrong? Falling off the camera? Yeah, no. I was screwing around the camera. I was like, no, this is perfect. This is
really Ingmar Bergman is fantastic.
I did that too. No, I did that too when I have my camera on my headrest here, and I just left it there for 3 months because that angle's perfect. I'm not touching it.
Right. Just I feel like I'm on Battlefield
That's the perfect
Earth,
expression.
right? Like any moment.
Yeah, I'm getting a Battlefield Earth feel.
Right. Yeah, especially with the hard light here and the hard contrast. I feel like John Travolta is gonna like come up behind me and like give me a back massage. You know.
He might. You never know.
He
With
might.
John.
Or Forrest Whitaker.
Allegedly.
no.
Allegedly. That's
The Rock,
Allegedly.
allegedly, but a few other names.
Yes,
Rick,
yes,
how you
we
doing
have
tonight?
I like Phenomenon.
Hey,
I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. This is probably the last time I'll be on time for a while, so I better enjoy it and revel in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
well, good, because you're making hell freeze too much.
Exactly right. Rob, how you doing tonight?
Complaining about climate change.
Doing pretty good. There's definitely a few movie related topics that I want to cover on my podcast here later this week, and one of them's James Cameron being a absolute douchebag. So I look forward to talking
breaking
about
news.
that.
I thought everyone knew that.
Yeah, no, with Avatar movies especially kind of prove that, but the comments he made this week were especially just like, oh, okay, you're really up your own ass. That's okay. I mean, I assumed it, but yeah, this is confirming it for sure.
But by the way, in the intro, I made you Luke Perry, so I hope you appreciated that. So there you go.
He's dead.
It
but
was a
thank
very
you.
good. It was a very good version. There was
Yeah,
it was very
the one with
believable.
her, Sarah, and Nerdigans actually came out pretty clean. And speaking of Nerdigans, hey Nerdigans, hey, how you doing?
I'm really exhausted and I'm dealing with my fussy cat Zeno. Like,
So you're basically in the Rick position for tonight. This is definitely a change of pace.
cat, knock it off. It's trying to like jump on top of my PlayStation 4 and knock things over again.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get him a cat tower so bad. He's been doing this ever since his broke like a couple months ago.
Well, and if you ever need a GoFundMe for a cat tower, we can put one together. I'm pretty sure they're like $20 at Walmart or something like that. But
well, I was gonna get
yeah,
one.
the
I
cat
was
tower.
gonna get one on Amazon for like $40 or something like that.
did you happen to check out the
Cats
intro
don't-
before we got into the show, real quick?
Well, you showed the intro on I think it was like after the
There's a
01
new
stream
one.
last week.
There's a new one. We updated it. I told you that one was the rough cut, and then we played the finished one tonight. So you may want to check that out because
I
you look
will.
a lot.
I'll check it out later.
You may look a lot like that chick from the Matrix. Just put it that way. So outside of that, let's go ahead and introduce everyone who's joining us here tonight. We are here live on Rumble or on Twitch and on not Twitch, on Twitter and on X. We're not here on Twitch. No one cares about Twitch anymore. But our good buddy Kirk is over there on the Rumble side of things. So shout out to Kirk, or Keith, as he wants to call himself. Over on YouTube side of things, Leslie Tarkin is here saying hello to all you lovely people. Saying hello to you too. Neil Zoic has our opening question saying, greeting barroom crew and the good folks in the chat. Fun question. Which first versus second would you rather watch? The Godfather or The Godfather Part 2? Now, isn't the general consistency usually everyone likes The Godfather Part 2 better than the first one?
I was gonna say, like,
No.
I don't know why this is a fight. Number two is just has it hands down. Like, it's such a. The soundtrack is even better.
I can quote the first one a lot more though, so that's the reason why I'd watch it.
Well, number 2 is both prequel and sequel, so it works well.
That's true.
Yeah, here's the problem.
A lot of people say that.
I always go for number 2.
I want to always say that Part 2, because Part 2 is a brilliant movie. I actually just saw it in theaters this year, and it was incredible. The problem that I have with this argument is that it's the greatest sequel of all time. It is the greatest movie sequel of all time. However, I do not know that any sequel can ever be better than its original. Now, you could disagree with me. You could say T2. You could say Aliens. Whatever. I think because it comes from something else. It is diminished in some capacity. Now, again, I could be full of shit. Whatever. But because The Godfather is like arguably the greatest film of all time, up there with 2001, Citizen Kane, Casablanca, whatever else you'd like to throw in there. I would just throw The Godfather. Just edges it out.
The only thing that contends with Godfather 2 is Bay Pig in the City.
I was going to go with Homeward Bound too, but I think that's a close.
Well,
That's another one. They were in San Francisco in that one.
Many people do consider. Well, many people do consider Empire Strikes Back to be better than Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument for that one, but is it the best sequel ever? That's probably a different conversation. Yeah. Bonus question here from Neozoic. It's like, how would you rank the best and worst of the Indiana Jones sequels here? Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, or Dial of Destiny?
Well, Dial of Destiny took Kingdom of the Crystal Skull spot. It makes that movie look like a masterpiece.
Last
Crusade,
Crusade
I'll
was
have
the best
Doom,
Indiana
Crystal
Jones movie.
Skulls, Dial
period.
of Destiny.
I gotta be honest with you. I think that Crystal Skull is still worse than Dial of Destiny, and that's kind of saying a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I refuse to
Indiana
watch Dial of
Jones
Destiny,
survived.
so that tells you something. I'll at least watch Crystal Skull just to pass the time. Dial of Destiny, I won't touch.
You got to remember. You got to remember. Okay, Crystal Skull had Indiana Jones surviving a nuclear test in a refrigerator.
He did.
Okay.
Because it was lead lined.
Dial of Destiny
Yeah.
had nothing that cool. Okay, you got to remember on the order of insane things, Dial of Destiny doesn't have anything that close to crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not
CGI
even
young
like-
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's it. Boo hoo. You know, because they couldn't get Shia LaBeouf back for whatever reason. They decided to kill him in Vietnam. Whatever. But then you got Harrison Ford. You got old man Harrison Ford inside of a solid iron refrigerator, hurtling through the air, tumbling several hundred feet, and coming to a hard stop and having no broken bones.
And somehow, while he got completely nuked from orbit, the door never opened to the refrigerator
Not
until he landed.
once. Right, and he was completely protected because it was a ye olde refrigerator, and everything was better in the past.
Well, also that and Shia LaBeouf was in it before he had his
That's right.
mental breakdown.
No,
One
that
of
was
many.
during his mental breakdown. That was not
okay.
before.
Yeah, we're
So,
not.
not to be a nerd
I
here,
have a
but
refrigerator that's over 50 years old, and it still works like a
Or
champ.
Orange, you seem like you're like
Don't
8
knock
seconds
this
behind
shit in the
everyone
past.
else, by the way.
but yeah, Temple of Doom is technically a prequel. Just throwing that out there.
Weird.
It takes place before Raiders of
Yeah.
the Lost Ark. However, I would just go The Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, and then Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. Dial of Destiny was just fucking terrible. I don't think it has any redeeming
that's
quality.
pretty much that's my ranking as well. Rob's ranking is mine, and I would like to add that in Temple of Doom, I don't have much memory of it except me running out of the theater screaming. So take that for what you
Really?
will.
Well,
And
Yes.
I got to remind
way
I
that
everybody
was
on the
I was
panel,
a child at the time. I was a child at the time when it
I
came
got to
out.
remind
It's not like
everybody
I
that
saw it when I
Indiana
was
Jones was married in Crystal Skull, guys, okay?
That's
He
true.
got unmarried in Dial of Destiny. Like, Crystal Skull
Yeah.
is better than Dial of Destiny, guys. I'm sorry, it is better.
the way that
I'm not
It
saying
is.
it's up there with like Casablanca, like Rob was talking, but like
No.
on the order of
you have to-
McDonald's cheeseburgers, it's just a little bit better.
It's a little bit
Well, you do
below the
have to
McChicken.
remember
Right.
you do have to remember that in Crystal Skulls, it is an Indiana Jones movie. In Dial of Destiny, it's whatever Phoebe Waller-Bridges movie, all right, where he's a guest star.
That's true.
Why didn't
It's a
they have?
feminist movie. It's the message movie.
Why didn't they have those refrigerators in
I only
Nagasaki?
see
Time traveling refrigerators.
I only
Why
see
is no one on
3
this?
Indiana Jones movies.
Well, there was a
There's only 3
boycott.
Indiana
There was
Jones
probably
movies.
a boycott.
Well, again, I
Or
mean,
Elizabeth
like,
Taylor
well, there's
Two
four-
didn't exist.
I'm not
Or
I'm not
Raiders
an
of the
Indiana.
Lost
Right, I'm not an Indiana
mystery.
Jones
Oh, so
guy.
you're right.
Right. I'm not hot on it, right? I don't hate it, but I'm just not one of those guys. And as someone who's just removed from the fandom of it and just observing from the outside, Harrison Ford running around in a fedora, I'm just gonna tell you, Dial of Destiny is down there in the Lifetime original movie level, okay? Like that's how bad that is. That's a Hallmark original kind of movie, okay?
Don't insult Hallmark like that. At least Hallmark
All
Christmas
right,
movies
all
are
right.
good.
All right, it's a
Hallmark
Lifetime movie.
sucks.
And just
Look, I
just
grew
for
up
the
with
record,
both.
I will say that I will just say that Chariots of Fire was the better choice for Best Picture over Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, it wasn't. Stop it.
Yes, it was.
Look, I grew
Last
up with
Crusade
both
is the
Star
best one
Wars,
ever.
with both Star Wars and Indiana Jones. I have held on to Indiana Jones because there's some cinematic component to it. So that's kind of my thing is more just like, okay, there's 3 really solid to above average good movies here. That's fine. You know what I'm good with that. Everything the 4th and 5th movies were just unbelievably disappointing. And I mean, literally, I think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out when I was 18. So that was really like, oh, okay, it's really over. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's never been more over than it is right now.
With the aliens? That's the one with the aliens?
Crystal Skull was...
That Soviet girl had a big butt, though. Just saying. I know why she was capped.
Talking about
Everybody
Kate
wanted to
Blanchett?
follow her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of donuts they were feeding her, but it went in the right place. That's for sure.
And yet, it didn't help her in Borderlands. Who can
I'm so sorry if anybody went to see that.
I did. I literally just got off of a review with MSK reviewing that movie, and yeah, it's not great. It's not. Yeah, Kate Blanchett looks like a 50-year-old person cosplaying.
Yeah, the butt deflated. You got to remember that movie was like when you were 18, Rob. You're like up there at Dave Patel age now, right? Like you got stuff to complain about in life.
Yep.
Well, we should start a GoFundMe, like maybe get like either Kate Blanchett or maybe Brie Larson a BBL and see maybe if that improves their likability.
No, because Kate Blanchett's too old. You gotta understand, she's like AARP age, man. You go sticking on like a spare tire on the back end of that, she'll fall over.
Dude, everyone in that film was like
enough.
Everyone in that movie was AARP age. Like you had her, Jamie Lee Curtis, who's still trying to show off her boobs at 80. You had like Gina Gershon, who's in the movie, 60 years old with her tits out. It's like it was a bad situation all around.
Kevin Hart's like what, 50, isn't he?
He's close.
He's in it. How old is Kevin Hart?
He's got to be like 43. I want to say.
How many favors did that guy do to like keep staying in the limelight? Because he doesn't exactly have favors.
He wore a dress.
But you know what I mean, though. He's in all of these movies that are, if they're not flops, they don't do very well. So I just don't know why he keeps getting cast in stuff.
Too. Like, doesn't he have like that Heart to Heart on Peacock or one of those streaming services?
Well, he's at that. He has like a NBA podcast, which is weird, and then he just has like a bunch of really crappy movies on Netflix that no one's watching. So it's
wasn't he a commentator for the Olympics?
Jesus. Okay.
He might have been. I don't know. It's rough now. Yeah. Here you go.
This is why he keeps getting work, because he subjects himself to being an absolute joke. He is a short black man that plays that up to the extreme as his singular quality as a performer. That is all his identity is in Hollywood, is short, snippety black man. That's it. And so that's why he survives, because he fills a niche that is incredibly hard to fill as far as Hollywood is concerned.
Well, once we cast him in Hamlet, then I'm sure things will improve.
He should be the new Hamilton.
He could be. He would be correct for it. He would be.
It worked for Jim Carrey,
right? Oh wait, aren't they mad at what's his face for portraying a black guy now? At Robert Downey Jr. Or is Tropic Thunder now bad? I thought I read that somewhere.
They've been trying to make that argument for a while, but it just won't stick. But people like that movie too much. Like, here's another thing from Kevin Hart's past.
Oh, I'm talking to you, jackass. All right. Why am I going to jail? This is going to happen to your little ass in jail. Oh my God! He's not a real cop. He's not a cop.
Yeah. So
what?
Hey, like we said before, that's what happens when you wear the dress.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had that Real House Husbands of Hollywood.
Yep. That's actually from that show. That's that whole scene right there. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sider's still trying to mentally recover from the fact that I think we lost Orchan there for a second.
Well,
he's still trying to mentally recover.
So when is he?
The best part is
this means he'll get the Kennedy Center honors next year.
The best part is when Sider's going insane over this, the Dutch angle makes it even more like psychotic and more dramatic.
Right.
There's a very famous movie called The Third Man that utilizes the Dutch angle quite
very Orson Welles.
So. Yeah, he's in it. Orson Welles is in it. It's directed by Carol Reed. Yeah.
Carol Reed was actually. Oh, by the way, they will be showing The Third Man for Joseph Cottonnight on Summer Under the Stars.
Does Orson Welles seem like somebody who's directed or?
Orson Welles would be
an actor and a director. So
whenever he needed money to make one of his movies,
yeah,
he would.
All I have to say is that Sider's camera angle makes
it's a wine.
Sider's camera angle makes it seem like he does have his own segment on Beacon's World, and there's a deep fried reference for all you millennials.
Oh my gosh!
There it was. Wow, right in the member berries.
Oh.
It's a good show.
Like that's all I could remember though, is I was watching Shaq do that in that clip, as I was thinking of him in the steel costume, and I was like, "This is my childhood hero doing this to another man. Please stop."
And that's only in front of the camera.
Oh my gosh.
Who else do we have here tonight? Let's go ahead. Leslie Tarkin is obviously here. I think she was going with Godfather. Yeah, it was here until we played that clip, right? Vanya saying that she hadn't seen The Running Man. Orange Hat is back here. Who else do we got here this night? DK is here joining us tonight. Question for everyone: who's the biggest Zoomer jabroni, Jenna Ortega or Rachel Zegler? At the end of this show, I think Rachel Zegler might be running away with it, but we'll talk about both of them as the show goes on. So just keep that in tight.
Am I coming through delayed now, or am I back on track?
You're fine for now.
You seem fine. By the way, I saw Jenny Ortega in advertise the sequel, the Beetlejuice sequel, when I was surprisingly invited to Beetlejuice screening. I don't know how we managed to get that, but so like they had a little intro with her.
I pointed this out a couple of days ago. It's like I don't know how they justify that casting. I mean, it's like Jenna Ortega, who's full-blown Mexican, is supposed to be the daughter of Winona Ryder, who is aggressively Jewish. And how is that even supposed to like work? Like you can't just throw like those things together and expect people to like take that. Wow, come on, guys. Alex versus Evil.
Why not? Why not?
They believe in Lenny Kravitz.
If John Leguizamo could play, John Leguizamo could play Toulouse-Lautrec, and technically he's the second Hispanic to play Toulouse-Lautrec because Jose Ferrer.
Hey, if Yokozuna can play a Japanese person, then anything can happen, I guess, right?
But this is
why people play Japanese people all the time. Look at Karate Kid too.
None of that criticism that Leguizamo has thrown at people really lands, because it's like he himself is like, okay, and you're cutting into like a Frenchman. You're playing a Frenchman. You're playing all these different ethnicities. Like, you're an asshole, dude. Like, just be quiet and be glad for the opportunities you've been given, please.
Do you remember the absurdity of Keenan Rockmore? I don't know his real name. Keenan Mitchell. No, that's Kel. I don't know. Keenan
Thompson.
Keenan Thompson. Do you remember him sitting in the bathtub pretending to be French and giving French lessons? Do you remember the absurdity of a black teenager pretending to be a Frenchman, educating you on French, but doing it poorly?
Yeah.
Here we are. It's reality now.
Like, too much why did you kick my goat?
Exactly. And here we are. Why did you kick my goat?
I'll also mention that the French comedic genius Jerry Lewis will also have a Summer Under the Stars tribute. I don't know why the French find it funny, but
also dead.
It's a thing in the pop and the light of high. I can't wait till that movie comes out. I've been waiting.
Which one?
The Day the Clown Cried.
Holocaust movie that got banned because it was so offensive.
It's not offensive.
Oh, well, it's not banned so much as it's not. It wasn't released, and it will have to wait 10 years until after his death, and you have to go to the Library of Congress to go and see it because you don't.
You notice it's always Jews that make movies about Holocaust. You know, you got Steven Spielberg, you've got Roman Polanski who did The Pianist, and so I mean, it's just like. There's an outside perspective on the event.
There's a reason why there's always like 4 World War II movies that come out like every single year.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know about that. I don't know if Fred Zinnemann is Jewish.
Well, you don't know if the Jews are very offended by World War II? I think it's pretty universal.
No. I don't know if Fred Zinnemann, who made The Surge, is Jewish. I don't know if the director of The Diary of Anne Frank is Jewish. So it's not necessarily
what non-Jew would make a movie about Anne Frank.
I'm just saying that it figures that they would make the best and worst of the genre.
Well, George Stevens.
You should get the topics.
George Stevens is not Jewish, or was not Jewish. And I just saw his last movie, The Only Game in Town, which is quite good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
So
you don't have to be Jewish. You don't have to be Jewish.
No. My
By
point
the
was
way,
that they made the best and worst of the genre, because with Jerry Lee Lewis is The Day the Clown Cried, and you could take
Jerry
your
Lee
pick,
Lewis
whether
was
it's
the rock and roll pianist.
Sorry,
It's
Jerry
Jerry
Lewis. My apologies. I do sometimes fuck that up. So
That was Gary Busey.
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis was very.
I thought it was Dennis Quaid, but okay.
The song "Great Balls of Fire"
Great
would
Balls of
really
Fire, yeah.
pep up any World War II.
That's the greatest
documentary movie.
The great
That's
song.
the greatest pug song ever.
Now, Dennis Quaid was in the biopic.
Yes, that's what I'm
Great Balls
talking
of
about.
Fire.
Yes. Dennis Quaid, not Gary Busey.
Yeah, that's how you're getting.
And now we're not talking about World War II.
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
And with that, we're going to go ahead and start with our first topic of the night. Future President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris, has been caught multiple times using artificial intelligence to boost her campaign rallies and make it seem like far more people are interested in her than actually is in reality. So a number of people on TikTok and on social media have noted that the campaign pictures and photos that have come out from the Kamala Harris campaign looks a little suspect to the point where people will find out that most of the people in the crowd aren't even real people. So I'm going to play to you guys a couple of videos that have gone around.
I'll show you some shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play these videos first, then we'll get even deeper into this one. But here's one noticing that I don't think none of these people are real.
So Harry's system put up this tweet saying, "Hope, dedication, patriotism." That's the Kamala Harris campaign. And then this picture that's supposed to be a Kamala rally, I guess, of her riding in a plane. The only issue is this picture is AI. This is not real, and you can really see it with the phones. Like they're all recording something different. It's none of it.
Batman has a BlackBerry.
And here's just another close-up of just all the phones
BlackBerry
doing their own thing. Also, this
Incredible.
person's thumb is oddly shaped. So yeah, Harry, if you're gonna brag about the Kamala campaign, maybe use a real picture.
But that wasn't the only person who pointed out that there was something weird going on here. Here's another guy who also noticed things and patterns.
AI images to try to act like people support Kamala Harris. This was his recent tweet. Hope, dedication, patriotism. That's the Kamala Harris campaign. Kamala Harris campaign also seems to be AI generated. This is not a real picture. Like, let's take a closer look. First of all, none of their phones are recording the same shit. This dude looks like he's watching a video on the hub. I have no clue what this person's watching. This dude is apparently zoomed in on two people having a conversation. Not to mention, AI still has trouble doing hands. Because if this is a real hand, something is broken. Not to mention,
AI
this
gang
person
signs,
is filming
baby.
that person's phone, apparently. This person is watching a video with captions. This person thinks the sky is really important, but this is very obviously not real. Do you understand how shitty your candidate has to be to resort to using AI? The worst part is this isn't even the first time we've caught them doing this. But in Harry's defense, this is the first time he's done it. This is the first time he's used AI to try to lie to people. I mean, he has no problem lying to people, but this is the first time he used AI to do it. Harry, look, I know it's not your fault, man. I know Midas Touch or Act Blue just sent you this and said you had to post it. And if you didn't, you weren't getting paid. But bro, look at the fucking picture next time.
Then there's more. Let's go even further than that here. There's one more photo that got exposed for being fake too.
Caught using AI to try to make the crowds at a Kamala Harris event look bigger. Let me introduce you to Catherine Rampell. He works for the Washington Post and is a commentator on CNN. And this was the image she posted. He said, scenes from the Harris fundraiser in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Then people started noticing some little issues with this photo. And she said, getting spam claiming these photos are AI. Not sure why I'd use AI to create a crowd of people in downtown Pittsfield. Then people started zooming in. The fuck is going on with that road sign? How does that happen? Someone explain to me how they can put their hands through the fucking sign? And what fucking language is this? Like, it's very obvious. This is all fake. Like, they tried to take a tiny crowd at her fundraiser and make it some big event using AI. We're now at the point that in the last 2 days alone, we got MSNBC editing a Joe Rogan clip to make it sound like he supported Kamala Harris when actually he was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. Now we got CNN using AI to make it look like people give a shit about Kamala Harris. It has become very clear that the mainstream media is willing to lie directly to your face. It's up to you whether or not you're going to take it.
Yep, so that's what's going on, and those aren't the only videos. Those are just a few. People have also found other pictures that are clearly fake. They've even gone as far to CGI live audience members who faces kind of like mulch together the way that AI typically does when you try to put anything to like a general AI thing. So not only are they trying to deceive people with the use of AI, they're not even using like the good engines to actually fool people. Like you see like these videos on social media where people are like, oh, this person is completely AI and it looks 1000% real. They're not even using like that level of deception. They're using like, the stable diffusion, like version 1, to try to dupe people into thinking, oh yeah, no, this is totally what's going on. But what's happening is that, like I said, there's this narrative in the media that's trying to make it seem like that Kamala Harris is like this superstar, that everyone is super enthusiastic about her being the president, which is like she's basically just a continuation of what we've already had over the last 4 years, but trying to make it seem like that, the walls are closing in on Trump because this is what they've been doing. However, they just keep getting caught lying. And this is kind of where we're at right now. So, Cider, I know you brought this up here. So, yeah, this is another one you can talk to us about.
I got two things to show you here. This doesn't have anything to do with the discussion and opinions. I just want to prove some stuff. These two guys in the crowd, the pictures we saw there where everybody had weird phones. Look at these two guys here up here. These two guys in red. Look at them, right? Look at them proportionately to the rest of the crowd. They're pretty up there, right? Let's look at them a little closer. These dudes are 10 feet tall. Look at them proportionately to the line of people that are surrounding them. You could tell because the arms of the people just behind them are raised here. These guys are 10 feet tall. Look at them in comparison to the plane and the vehicles.
The circus folk love Kamala, okay? Cider.
The Nephilim were there.
Kamala.
Yeah, apparently artificial intelligence loves her too.
So I want to show. Yeah, exactly. So here we go. So over here this is Picasso over on the Free Pick stock photo website. Okay, I pay the premium rate to have access to this. This is pretty cutting edge stuff. So I have found a picture on Google of a plane on a hangar at sunset. I have asked the AI to add in a crowd. Okay. Here's the crowd. Looks a little goofy. Now I've asked it to upgrade it to a 4K photo. And all of a sudden, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of people surrounding a plane with their arms in the air, so excited. And you just add some Kamala signs here and there, and whoop-de-doo. It's all in place, just like that. Just a few minutes, you've got a packed campaign rally that never happened.
Yeah, I want to start this one off with Rob here because it's like we've been talking about this for a while with AI and how fast it kind of came into everyday inclusion. Like I know people's workplaces are now using AI in some capacity now, and we always knew this day was going to come where it was going to be used as deception. This is really just a test run for the deception because we haven't had full stage video saying that, oh, here's President Trump calling black people a bunch of N-word monkeys. It sounds and looks just like him. It's like he's really saying it. We haven't gotten that part just yet, but it's coming. What is your thoughts on the Harris campaign trying to deceive people into thinking that she's way more popular than she is in reality?
Yeah, and I mean, Kamala Harris is inept. I mean, she's an incompetent. So it's I mean, she's just the figurehead at this sort of the center of this campaign, but it's the DNC, it's the DCCC, it's all of it's the political machine in Washington. And it's like they're just trying to sort of make you forget about the last 4 years and that she's responsible for inflation and responsible for high grocery prices, high gas prices. You're struggling to be able to pay for the very same things that weren't so expensive under Donald Trump. So, paying for these wars and conflicts that are going on over there. It's like, that's the reason that all these things are more expensive right now. So, and this overwhelming support that she's seemingly gotten these last 3 weeks, it's just overnight. I mean, they've been polling about Kamala Harris for years. She had no support. Now all of a sudden it's a dead heat, or she's even leading in some polls. It's just like, dude, give me a fucking break. It's you've seen the trajectory, you've seen the sort of playbook and game plan, and now it's like, oh, okay, all of a sudden you're trying to switch it up and call Republicans weird. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I find this really bizarre because that, along with the fact that even JD Vance showing wearing drag or whatever, where it was like, yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke at a party, like so many of us recognized from our years in like the comedies we used to watch, and all of this stuff is like they're trying to make people forget about the things that are very much like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not that stupid. I mean, maybe a lot of people in this country are stupid, but I know I'm not
definitely.
that stupid. So,
and just real quick to even like Cozy's point here, it's like they really think you're stupid. It's not that they think you're stupid; they know you're stupid. Because even though people like me, you, and a few others can see exactly what they're doing, at the end of the day, this type of trickery really does work on a large number of people in this country. Like, if COVID did not prove this, that there are just people out there who will just listen and believe anything that the media tells them, and anything that the newspapers or the internet, wherever the current narrative is, like that should have been the indication. It's like, oh wait, we were more cooked than we actually originally thought here when this all said and done.
And if there's a reason that I will support Trump or vote for Trump, it's sort of that reason, that narrative of, there is a collected effort through the media, through certain aspects of the government, through private nonprofit organizations that launder money. But seriously, there is this collected effort to sort of be like, we're not going to accept Donald Trump, even if it's the will of the people. And that highly ignorant, highly elitist view is just something that frankly makes me sick to my stomach. So, I'm not the biggest fan of Donald Trump, but I'll support him if that's what he's going up against.
Yep. Nerdigans, are you there?
Then you know you should be supporting. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said Nerdigans.
Go ahead, Nerdigans. Sorry.
I wanted to get your take on this, and what's kind of your concept on AI? I don't think we ever talked about this too much, but the way that, like I said, it's rapidly evolving to the point where it's not quite there yet, because obviously the people are well versed in AI to know the tells, to see that you can look at a photo like that and see that, okay, something's clearly not right here. They can still tell it, but they're actively trying to at least increase it to the point where you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction anymore. Isn't that kind of a worrying concern?
Well, there's the fact that people, if you're on Twitter, especially anime and manga Twitter, that people can't tell the difference between reality and fiction anymore. It's really getting ridiculous. But the thing that's very interesting about AI, because there is a series that I am covering about like a military AI that falls in love with the human, and that rapidly evolves to the point where, because she was programmed not to know about the concept of death, and once she learns the concept of death, she rebels against her creator. So that's something that, with AI rapidly evolving, that's something that could really happen, where Skynet is one of those things too, where it will eventually become smarter than the humans that program them and take over, including like hacking the human body and controlling the human as if they were humans, as if they were meat puppets. It's something that is.
I do think that can be a possibility. The more ingrained technology becomes to kind of like everyday human life. I'm not really going into like the whole Elon Musk like brain chip stuff, right? But the more that we try to fuse humanity and technology, and it's like, look, people don't even understand the gravity of like cyber crimes and hacking and the attacks that go on a day-to-day basis. Like, there was literally a DDoS attack last night during Trump and Elon's Twitter Spaces like thing, right? And it was like a massive attack. A lot of people could even actually get like access into it. Now, that's just kind of the aspect of Twitter. Now, when you're starting to incorporate things to like, where we're introducing to people, it's like, oh, this is going to improve your life, this brand new technology, and by the way, it just so happens to be a backdoor in that anyone can go and corrupt it for its own means. People are not looking at the long term of what can happen with situations like this.
That's true. That's why you got to have this is why I tell people I won't like use Kik, for example, because I don't trust their security. You got to be like on an encrypted server, like the most secure third-party social media network that I know of, because they do use encrypted software, is Telegram. That's the only one that I know of that uses encrypted software. And that's why like a lot of Antifa groups go on Telegram, and a lot of leakers use Telegram too. I
will say this, and I'll shoot this one off the orange hat here. there was another thing about AI that was like not too convenient. No, it was going into kind of like the crypto I was talking about here. I know some of you guys are like big into cryptocurrency, and the Cider can also go into this after Orange, but apparently people found out like roughly like a year ago that the so-called most secure crypto cold wallets, like people like offline like storage wallets, that they actually have built in a backdoor into those crypto wallets, so that literally it can be like hacked or accessed through the backdoor, and somebody can steal like literally everything you own. And the whole point of having those cold keys is that, you know, it's basically something that you can own, that only you can have access to, and they come to find out, well, turns out you weren't nearly as secure like as you thought it was. And this is, they say, I know on one aspect it just looks like, okay, they're editing pictures to make it seem like it's more real than it is. Remember a couple weeks ago we were just talking about them possibly using Joe Biden's voice as AI, how they were trying to deceive people into thinking like, oh no, Joe's totally fine, don't listen to any of the rumors that he was in a hospital in Las Vegas suffering a medical emergency. No, he was definitely talking to Kamala Harris live on the air. You heard his voice, so we all know it's him. It's like they're clearly using AI to manipulate people, and that should be concerning from the current regime of the United States of America. Do you agree with that, Orange?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's to the point where Democrats and leftists can't do anything honestly anymore. I mean, just look at Kamala Harris. I mean, sure, she's going to use AI. She's going to use all the fucking shit at her disposal to try to win her this race. Ain't gonna
She's
work.
probably gonna go on her knees too. I mean, look.
Well, that's basically what, or she's already been doing that. I mean, she
On
did.
her
How do you
knees.
think? How do you think she got Biden to step down? But anyway, she but the fact this woman,
not the first old man dick that she sucked.
Yeah, I know. But as I was saying, she's now also copying Trump's policies. And it's like, did you think that people weren't going to call that out? And there's just, also, I'm kind of freaking pissed off at the media. It's like, why aren't you guys covering freaking Biden? Where the fuck is Biden? Y'all are so focused on Kamala. Where the fuck is Biden? Our president has just been completely ignored during the time that Kamala announced her candidacy that she didn't earn. They literally staged a coup. No fucking press is covering this shit. Biden is asked, do you think Iran will step down? Oh, I hope so. Like, he's not the fucking president of the United States. He's fucking taking a nap on a beach and can't even lift up a fucking chair from a beach, which those things little kids can pick up, mind you. So, are you fucking kidding me that Kamala Harris is like, oh, look at all these people that way just fucking then. Oh, and it's also, if you want Donald Trump to win, keep saying that. Otherwise, I'm speaking. Bitch, you just fucking insulted a lot of fucking people who have a right to speak about the stuff that they want to hear about. So, yeah. That woman is a fucking phony. She's a fucking fraud. And I cannot fucking stand her. Even if she was a freaking $12 hooker, I wouldn't pay any fucking money to be 10 feet near her. That woman is fucking trash, as far as I'm concerned. And if she is elected, Donald Trump's fucking right. This country is dead. It's already basically dead. We're a dying beast laboring for breath. Donald Trump, if he wins, it's a 4-year Band-Aid. But the point is, if Kamala Harris wins, this fucking country's dead. And her using AI, she's only trying to hasten the death of our country.
Eddie, I want your thoughts here on the whole AI. NeoZog has the question, do you think that it should be banned? I don't think it can be banned, because I remember hearing a story maybe like a year or two ago saying that the reason why AI is being rolled out in the fashion that it is because behind the scenes, they have been developing this for years. And apparently it got to a point where even, let's just say, certain companies like Google and other major tech companies can no longer actually control AI the way they want you to believe that they control it. So now they're just kind of rolling it out as a panic measure. So this thing might already be far more detrimental than any of us realize here. I think the biggest drawback of this is going to be, it's like everyone's like, oh, look at all the great things that we can do as far as like art and creation. It's like, yeah, I'm more worried about like all the jobs that are going to be deleted in like the next 5 to 10 years thanks to AI, because companies are just be like, oh, we can just save money by having, you know, AI be our accountant, or AI being like this job and that job, and what the hell is like 200 million people in this country going to do for work now that their jobs have officially been replaced as robots. Like I said, people just don't look at the long-term repercussions and stuff like this. But Eddie, what's your thoughts on the whole AI situation?
Well, I mean, if you really want to worry about getting your job replaced over AI, apparently they're not going to replace crowds with AI anytime soon. So, at least legitimately. So you're going to still get all those influencers on TikTok or Twitter or wherever saying, hey, the Biden campaign, the Harris campaign tried to bribe me, everybody. Give me money so that I don't get bribed by them. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that most of the people who are going to be suffering from AI are going to be perfectly fine. The world's still going to have truck drivers and everything else. It's just that those guys are going to have to learn how to work the engine. Yeah, like the AI thing is, I'm not going to fearmonger on the AI thing, because I truly believe that we're still at the infancy phase of things. And I think the government would like us to believe that it's going to come and kill us all. But, you know, they're the ones that still have it's still the dementia man who still has his finger on the button anytime he falls onto it. So, yeah, that's the guy I'm worried about. And I'm worried about his cackling little that's next to him. Because I'm going to say that Kamala Harris is arguably the worst. I'm not even going to say the worst politician, because politicians are bad in general, but the worst Democratic politician, the worst Democratic candidate there ever has been. She's not even a real Californian Democrat. She doesn't want to. She's a cop. She doesn't want to charge the police unions with, you know, all the things that go on with the cops out here that try to, you know, stomp down your rights and everything else. They still want the cities to get taxed. They still want the taxpayers to pay off all of those lawsuits and everything else here. And she was completely for that. She's completely for putting all those homeless people and all those migrants into hotels, 5-star hotels. So there's no reason for tourists to come here to, you know, spend real money and have a great time in California, the greatest state in this entire union. And well,
Eddie, remember what she got busted for putting the homeowners association money into the general fund, and she was getting sued for that. Her and Newsom were getting sued for that, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely, because they were getting a siphon from it, from all the fucking back ends that they were getting from it, especially when it came to like miscounted water bills and things like that up in Yolo County. That was a big to-do, especially when none of them wanted to clear out the shrubbery. So we have now another fire up there in Paradise. They don't want to clear out the shrubbery anymore.
People don't understand that, like, when you hear these dumbasses say, oh, it's climate change, it's like, no, it's not. It's you morons not cutting down the shrubbery. It's you morons not holding PG&E accountable for taking care of the power lines like they're supposed to. It's like,
absolutely.
Bunch of idiots. Like, Californians aren't stupid. The majority of us do know that what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Only dumbasses, like dumbass hippies and Zoomers, don't know what's going on.
So basically, like LA and San Francisco. No,
even San Francisco knows that it's
dude, you when it comes to the point where you have to step over hypodermic needles just so you can get your kids to school across the street.
Yeah,
like San Francisco has completely changed. You're seeing San Francisco with Trump signs and Trump stickers and everything else now.
It wasn't that long ago where like Oakland was considered like the shithole of the Bay Area, and now I think San Francisco might actually be worse now.
No, but the DA there, I'm telling you, she's really stepping up. She actually she charged 26 people that shut down the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, she charged all of them, including I think at least a few of them with felonies. Like, that's something the previous one, thanks to Bernie Sanders, DA, like, because he's the one that really screwed up. It was Bowden.
No, Chessie
really screwed it up, and he got recalled. And the one that they put in is really stepping up. And she said on Twitter a while ago, she said a lot of it has to do with the court system. There's been some corrupt judges in San Francisco, and Kamala was one of them once upon a time. But
Yeah.
the DA in San Francisco is really stepping up. The
well,
one that's really a problem is LA. LA's DA is just on another level of corrupt.
Well, there's a whole multitude of reasons why LA is a crap hole, and it's because they're trying to protect people at the top,
and they're getting the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So things are only going to get better.
In
By the way, the mayor already just said that
So,
she's going to make the 2028 Olympics a no-car Olympics. So yeah, good luck with that one.
In
Good
LA,
luck
yeah, right.
in Los Angeles.
LA's a car town.
Yeah, good luck in Los Angeles not having any cars. I would like to point out, Jacob, first that Oakland is a better city now because King T'Challa invested all of those community centers with that. With all that.
Pamela Price is
okay.
When you
So
have the NAACP against you, though, you know it's bad when you have the NAACP against you,
Yeah.
and that's what's happening with Pamela Price.
And Rick, they were promptly vandalized
also-
soon after. You know.
And I
all I have to say is that if you live in Oakland, don't leave your car in any kind of sight.
Yeah.
Leave your car in Orinda or leave your car in Berkeley or somewhere else. Don't leave it in Oakland.
Leave your car in Reseda.
Leave your car at the.
This is all right. Just for this is what the majority of the people in Oakland and San Francisco want, because they have the opportunity to vote this. Vote for a job if they refuse to.
Oakland wants to
No. You got no. This is on you guys.
This is not on us.
Voters.
This is not on us.
This is not on anyone. But you don't even have to worry about it because, first off, I don't think anyone has to worry about AI for the Kamala Harris campaign because she's going to win in a landslide. Okay, we know that. So stop it. She's going to win easily. Second,
this man
in a more serious manner, it is concerning that they even have to go. Stop it. It's concerning that they have to go through all of these machinations and put up all of this AI. Just put out the actual pictures and say we're starting the movement. We're beginning to see the rise.
You're
of
asking professional liars to tell you the truth.
You're asking people that won't.
It's because people
won't pass the bill to not take bribes to make bribes illegal to do this.
You can't hide this when people are investigating this. This is just like when we kept hearing for months and months about how dear Uncle Joe was lucid and sane, and he was tap dancing down the White House stairs and quoting Tocqueville.
And then one debate, it was like, "Oh my God, get rid of him! He can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the truth eventually will come out, and with all these digitally altered pictures, people are going to, of course, examine them and say, "Hey, you know what? There's something shady if you've got these giants out there." Although, again, circus folk want to vote for Kamala. So I don't understand why Sider's so obsessed with tall people. There, just because both of us are short doesn't mean that we can't see tall people. But
I feel like you just threw Sider
why waste
for no reason for the purpose of that joke.
I love Sider. Sider's my favorite. Sider's my favorite of all the people here. Sorry, Rob. I'm dumping you as my bestie.
I don't care. I don't like you.
And I don't. So there you go.
It's funny. I was actually going to be like, Sider's actually my favorite, and I'm sorry he's not on tonight. And then he was on, and I was like, okay, good.
Great. We'll have to do a show. Look, so this is what you're going to expect here. We still have 2.5 months left, and this presidential election campaign farce. There's going to be a lot more fuckery afoot than them just manipulating videos and photos, stuff like that. Like, I feel like something big is going to come around the corner. And look, I'm putting to you very, very clearly here. I don't think things are going to get particularly any better if Kamala Harris or Donald Trump wins at this point. I think we're too far gone. But if Harris were to somehow win, whether legitimately or illegitimately, I feel like that, presidents, prime ministers, leaders are a reflection of the nation. And if we elect Kamala Harris to be our supreme commander in chief, I think we probably might be under a certain judgment. And I'll just kind of leave it at that. So any final thoughts on this one before we hop over to our next topic of the night?
How in the world did I completely lack all of this? I completely didn't know about the Kamala Harris AI story until tonight. But all weekend I've been hearing about how Tim Walz loves to drink horse cum.
Yeah, right. It's weird. And then people were just like, "No, who cares? It's just horse cum, right?"
No. You see, that makes up for JD Vance having sex with couches. You see, both of them are very freaky. Both of them are very freaky in the
But if you have sex,
kinks.
But if you have sex with the couch, at least you can get change back.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Obama.
I need to boo you. I need a boo button. I'll work on getting the boo button.
Before I forget, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there's breaking news that came out a couple hours ago, I guess, that the Eternals 2 is completely gone.
I refuse to believe that there was ever actually a thing. That the Eternals is the worst MCU movie ever. Like structurally, like quality-wise, it's the worst MCU film of all time. They were never legitimately thinking about
no. There had to be an Eternals 2 so that we could have Harry Styles do a full-length action film, a Marvel film. His generation's Gene Kelly needs justice. Confound it. We need to have Harry Styles in the MCU.
And for all one of you guys who listen to this podcast know who Gene Kelly is, you know that's actually something serious. So
yeah, he's a dancer. Nobody cares.
I'm singing in the rain.
Yeah, this just reminds me of Clockwork Orange, honestly, more than anything. You know,
that's because I was singing it.
Yep, there you go.
Someone in my film class mixed in Gene Kelly's voice with that footage from A Clockwork Orange. And the whole theater was very unhappy about it.
Yeah.
Why did I get those Why did I get that those weird eye things and that kind of music going?
Come for me if you want to live.
Okay.
Or if you want to die, who knows? Let's jump over to more debauchery here. Joaquin Phoenix backed out of an NC-17 gay romance film at the last minute. I guess there was something tugging away at his soul that told him that he didn't want to give up his booty hole for a Hollywood movie. And now everyone in Hollywood is upset with him because people are going to be out of jobs. There was a lot of people looking forward to making a gay movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and he was like, nah. So here's how this whole thing ended up. They agreed to the film. They got all the crew together. I guess something happened with the script probably that alluded to some things that were going to happen, because at first they just reported it as, oh, he just left some gay romance movie. And then it quietly got out after first. Yeah, it just so happened to be NC-17. So I was like, okay. So if it was NC-17, what exactly were you trying to get him to do that he probably wasn't very comfortable with, and he ended up backing out days after this whole thing going? So 5 days before his project, an NC-17 gay romance was set to film a heterosexual Oscar-winning Joaquin Phoenix is accused of bolting from the production. Phoenix reportedly stormed off the set of the Haze movie 2 weeks ago that was filmed in Mexico. Producers have been trying to put the project back together, but the project has completely died. I guess it's because there's nobody else who's waiting to jump in his place right now. The local crew members are due money. This film's supposed to be set in the 1930s, built via financing that only comes available through Phoenix's involvement with the film. So obviously, if he's not in the movie, there's producer money on the side that's not going to be involved here. So the whole project is going to die. It's basically the same thing that happened with that Scarlett Johansson movie a handful of years ago when she was supposed to play the trans man, and then all the trannies got upset, so then she ended up dropping that film altogether. So it's good job there, guys. So now that Phoenix has abandoned the project, director Todd Haynes and producer Christine Vachon says that the movie is dead. That means that hundreds of crew people are certainly out of a job. And in now deleted Facebook posts, Christine responded to criticisms of saying that this was her fault for hiring a straight man to play a homosexual. It says, and please, if you're tempted to finger wag a monitor,
love these streets.
That's what you get for casting a straight actor. Don't. This was his project that he brought to us, and Killer's record was working with the LGBTQ actors, crew, and directors. Speak for itself. It says, for those of you who have, I know that you're making a terrible situation even worse. According to World of Wheel, Phoenix came to Hayes with the idea of doing a 1930s detective movie featuring his character engaging in same-sex romance. What's more, Phoenix apparently kept pushing for gay sex scenes to be more explicit, so explicit that it became an NC-17 feature. There was a lot of speculation of Phoenix leading. Most assume that as the film date drew closer, the idea of graphic sex scenes gave him cold feet. That may be true, but why did he come up with the project and push for more homosexuality to begin with, if that was the case? Like I said, maybe as the filming went on, something changed where they wanted him to do something that he probably wasn't comfortable with. But then again, he's a Hollywood weirdo, so who knows if that was actually the case going on here. Maybe this whole movie was just one big troll. Maybe he just wanted to troll the gay community into making a movie and got everyone together and then backed out at the last minute as an FU. That's possibly that could happen. It says here that there's a lot of talk in the entertainment media about how this could hurt Phoenix's career. And he's seen as erratic, unreliable, and even uninsurable. The guy just won an Oscar a couple of years ago, just in case you guys forgot about that. It says the production could also sue him for financial damages, violating his contract, therefore passing judgment and trashing Phoenix as a temperamental homophobe. I like to hear his side of the story. Famous actors drop out all the time at the last minute. We'll see what happens. He still has Joker 2 coming out here later on this year, so I don't think it's going to hurt him too much, at least in the short term. I just think that a lot of people associated with this film are probably dealing with hurt feelings at the moment. But I'll go ahead and swing this over to you, Rob. I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on Joaquin Phoenix backing out of doing gay butt sex in a movie then?
Yeah, so I mean, Joaquin Phoenix has played gay before. He played like he won't get very far on foot. Like him and you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think that this is about Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, if he's the one that supposedly brought material to them and was working with Todd Haynes to make it a certain type of film. Todd Haynes is a well-known director, is well-respected, but is gay and is certainly interested in a certain type of kind of indie filmmaking. And this sounded like
Heaven.
I believe so. Yes. I know him for, I'm Not There, the Bob Dylan sort of, multi reimagining of Bob Dylan through various actors, but he's done a lot of different kinds of movies, but he's definitely an arty kind of director, and this was going to be a certain type of movie. So I don't think, I'm sure this will come out that it had nothing to do with, gay sex scenes, but who knows? It's possible, but he has every right to back out. It's like, at the end of the day, if you ultimately decide against it, this is an artistic project. He is an artistic performer in the sense that, if something does not speak to you, something does not agree, you can't find a way inside, not to get to, use the wrong phrasing there, of the actor of the performance of the character. And, the right thing to do is to walk away. But the reality here is that money gets invested because of stars' involvement. That happens all the time. That's especially now when nobody takes any risks. The people that end up putting up money, either get refunded that because it was based on the idea that he was going to be involved with this movie. And now that he's not, it sort of creates a problem with finding a replacement, and then also potentially finding a replacement for the money lost without Joaquin Phoenix's involvement. He's an Oscar winner that carries a certain degree of marketability, and hey, people want to see you. We can market it a certain way. So I think it's, at the end of the day, it's going to be a little bit more than this article. I mean, this is kind of an underhanded swipe at Joaquin Phoenix for really no reason. But who released this article? Was it Variety? Hollywood Reporter?
No, this was Breitbart, but the original source, I believe, was Variety.
Yeah, and these are industry magazines. These are industry rags. You know what I mean? They basically work for and get their sourcing from studio executives, producers, directors, people who work in the industry. So again, you really want to take it with a grain of salt, because it's just like, okay, these are the people that are being financially impacted by this decision. So, let's kind of wait for all of the kind of cards to fall where they may before we pass final judgment. That's my take anyway.
I have a real quick question here. What happened to the idea of those intimacy coordinators that are supposed to now be de rigueur in a lot of these films where there are love scenes or sex scenes? If Joaquin Phoenix was concerned that it was going to be too graphic, shouldn't these intimacy coordinators be there to see the level of comfort? I'm a little puzzled if that was the reason that he actually pulled out, because it was, no pun intended, because it was getting too graphic for his taste. Besides, he was the one that had major involvement in the project. He could have said, you know what, I'm not comfortable at a certain level. We can find a way to make everything understandable without being graphic. So you could do sex scenes or love scenes without having to be uh, all Pornhub here. You could, with a good director, and I'm sure there are ways around this. So I'm just puzzled as to why we don't have these intimacy coordinators here. Why wasn't there an intimacy coordinator? That's what the whole point was, so that people would not be having these situations where, like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, with a certain level of nudity, or I'm a certain uncomfortable level of like what I'm showing. So this person's supposed to guide the actors, not the director so much, but the actors in these scenes. That I don't know why he pulled out. I would just say he knew what the project was, and apparently he pushed for it to be a little more graphic. So why did he decide suddenly no? There might be something. This might be what you would say a smokescreen for other issues that maybe he had with Todd Haynes on another type of level. It is Todd Haynes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it might be something else, and they're just using this. And one more point, I'm sure I know that Rob's probably right that they sold this with a Joaquin Phoenix film, but if they wanted to push this project, you could recast the role. I don't see why this was like only for him and him only. I'm sure Matt Bomer would have jumped at the chance, or Jim Parsons would have jumped at the chance to be in this story.
Tom Holland.
Neither one of those is a good actor, though, to be fair. So.
I don't think Tom Holland wants anything to do with the NC-17 porn movie at this point. He's probably still having like prison PTSD at this point.
Oh my god!
Right.
But Rick, to answer your question, it doesn't fit the narrative. The intimacy coordinator thing is to shame men over the history of the actresses being abused, or having gone through the casting couch, or all of those things. That's really what this is about. They could say it's about making sure everybody feels safe and comfortable, and that's fine. But I and a lot of people who know the history of Hollywood kind of know that's bullshit. So it's fine. Yeah. Whatever makes you feel better.
Well, that might be true, but at the same time, that would be my first question. When the story was reported to us, I would have said, well, aren't there people who are now specifically hired to prevent this kind of situation? Why isn't anyone else bringing up the idea that there should be these people who are on set? And also, remember, he could have asked for a closed set, which is perfectly within his right to say, okay, we're just going to have a very limited number of people here who are absolutely necessary to film these very intimate, even graphic scenes, which might have even been cut. I know they were going for NC-17. I don't know why. I mean, the last NC-17 film I saw was Showgirls, but I don't know why they would want to have an NC-17 film.
Also, there are very few things that I'm interested in than a 1930s detective, more than a 1930s detective movie. That's a perfect genre. So thank you for creating something and then ruining it, Todd Haynes. I really appreciate that.
You'll never see the Maltese Falcon again the same way.
That's 41.
Close enough.
I want to get Cider's thoughts on this, and then go on to Nerdigans.
So honestly, the situation seems to be you're familiar with the Sisyphean task, right? With rolling a boulder uphill, that sort of thing, and then it gets reset over and over. So what happens when straight guys get involved in this kind of thing is the excitement of a taboo. starts to take over, and the rush of doing wrong is there. It's kind of like stealing or something, but I guess it's on a higher level because you're booty blasting another man, and that doesn't get too much more blasphemic than that. There's levels, but it doesn't get too much worse. So I think the vibe is that he was like really excited. It sounds like he was like really excited by this. Most likely like one of those weird little fetishy things was surfacing and he wasn't aware of it. And then one day he showed up to work and he was like, I have to do what? And so he just like, bye, bye-bye. I did not realize what I was doing. Bye-bye. And I think that's what happened is he got the idea, he rolled the boulder to the top and was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want to do this anymore. Bye-bye. I'm okay with like gays that sleep in the same bed, not the pegging scene from Deadpool, okay? You know, I think that's what Joaquin probably left the studio saying, left the shooting area with, was like, you know, I'm okay with like sleeping in the same bed on camera, but you're not getting the pegging scene from Deadpool out of me.
Yeah, no, nobody needs that. And I don't know. I think they used to call that post-nut clarity. Maybe that's what happened here. Like, maybe this is a good idea on paper for him until he realized now you have to actually film the scenes.
Right. You know, he went out in his trailer, jerked off, and he was like, I just realized I'm not gay, guys. I'll see you later.
Hey, he might have not said that if it was like a feminine twink or one of those, oh my God, those Thai... the
lady
Thai
boys,
trannies. Yeah, the Thai lady boys.
Or Tom Holland. In the 1930s.
Those will change your mind, from what I've heard.
Oh, good luck with that one.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
still a thing.
A little Spanish flea.
Holland, and maybe that would have changed his mind.
The world is a disgusting, awful place, isn't it?
It is a very bizarre place. But
the world is full of crashing wars.
Like,
yes.
I mean, we're talking about a world where women get all pissy and hate each other, but want to see like two boys fuck each other. Like, it's the weirdest thing.
And they can go online and watch gay porn.
It's like it sounds like that they were basically just trying to make like a high budget gay porn. It's like, oh yeah, we'll make it about like some director in the 1930s in Mexico or something like that. Now get to the gay fucking. Like that's really what they got down to.
Well, they have that already. Isn't there a movie called Eisenstein in Mexico that covers that?
Here's a question. I don't think anybody asked this. Didn't Joaquin Phoenix know that there was going to be a scene that this happened in?
Yes.
If he got the fucking script?
Yeah, if he had
signed up.
Push for it.
If he knew that,
I mean, it's like, dude, you knew this shit was going to happen, and yet you fucking walk 2 weeks or a week or whatever just before it fucking happens.
5 days.
That's unprofessional on your fucking part. You knew the shit was going to happen. You knew you were freaking scheduled to get pegged, and you backed out at the last minute. I mean, good for you. I mean, you didn't, or you know your limits, but dude, seriously, you knew this shit was going to happen.
What if you got to wonder if he was the top and not the bottom, if things would have changed, but.
You know, they also have
or rewrite at the last minute.
You know, they also have body doubles. You can edit scenes to make it look like it's sex, but it's not. So I'm perplexed at why he decided to storm out.
But here's the thing. It's just real quick. It's NC-17, and the only reason why you get an NC-17 rating is because you're either showing penis or vagina. And since this is a gay movie, that means someone was showing their dick in the film, and there was going to be a sexual act performed on said dick. So I assume that it has a lot to do with the fact that his decision to back out of this whole thing.
And Todd Haynes, as a director, likes to push the envelope. He likes to he makes very kind of like risque. I don't want to call them disturbing movies because that's not quite what it is, but like he like very much pushes the envelope with his material a lot of the time. And so, in this being an NC-17 movie, I'll tell you, there's 2 NC-17 movies I've seen in a theater in my life. One was called Blue Valentine with Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams. It's kind of like a relation, marriage kind of falling apart. It's very depressing. And then the other one was Shame with Michael Fassbender, directed by Steve McQueen. Very good movie, but incredibly disturbing. And just this portrayal of a sex addict who literally can't can't stop, that's his primary focus in life. And so that knowing that that kind of movie is potentially being made, he probably had the realization of like, oh, it's one of these kind of movies, and just was uncomfortable. But this also could just be cover for, like Rick said, something else going on.
Well, I'd also point out that first off, Todd Haynes, like when I brought up Far From Heaven, that was his homage to the Douglas Sirk films, which were hardly graphic. Not graphic at all for the 1950s. And I saw Shame, not in the theaters. They sent me the screener, and there is actually a very brief moment where Michael Fassbender does go to like a gay bar or something like that, and has a man perform, but you don't see it. I mean, you just get the suggestion of it. And that's how far his addiction is, to where he wouldn't go outside of his normal venues. So again, I know NC-17, they want the graphicness, but really, would you even really release an NC-17 film like this? Most of the time, it could.
Blonde. They released Blonde a couple years ago.
Yeah, but I saw that on.
Netflix. It was Netflix.
Yeah.
Most people probably saw it on Netflix. I don't know I don't think any NC-17 film has been financially successful. So where would
that's why they're NC-17, because movies of that rating usually don't get big studio backing. So.
Yeah, well, except for Showgirls. That one was a rare moment, and it was a disaster on many levels. But maybe this would appeal to. That's why they're more upset in foreign markets, because maybe, I don't know, maybe they wanted to see something like this in other countries. But again, I don't see how this would play commercially in the United States. And if they really wanted to make money, they would have edited down to an R. And again, it could have been done. There's this story. I'm having a hard time that it really is about him being uncomfortable with graphic same-sex scenes. I think this is more that this is some kind of cover to not talk about another type of issue. Maybe it's a contract dispute that they don't want to talk about. Maybe he wanted greater control, and Todd Haynes didn't want to give him greater control over the production. Who's to know? Until there's more clarification. But I still think if they really wanted to make this film, if Todd Haynes really wanted to make this film, lower the budget, hire other actors, and you could have done it. But I guess it was pre-sold on the idea of Joaquin Phoenix. Is he that big of a star, really, outside the United States, that his name alone would sell his movie in Ghana or Thailand or Australia or Argentina? I mean,
probably not, because I mean, he's not really known as a big name, and then it's not like he's in a lot of franchises or action movies or anything to kind of sell it in a commercial way. So probably not.
Maybe this would go over in Puerto Rico, where I think he was born.
Europe, I think it's more Europe and the West. You know what I mean? The United States.
Yeah, and Europe's doing very well right now, so I'm sure they would enjoy. I'm sure they would enjoy graphic sex scenes with Joaquin Phoenix, showing those Paris and London right now, maybe Dublin. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. My gauge on this one, and I'll let you guys go for final thoughts, is that, like I said, we're not getting the whole story here. There's a key detail to this story that's no one's talking about yet, because there's no reason why 5 days into, before the filming of this, that he would just suddenly back out, unless there was something that changed behind the scenes that clearly either made him uncomfortable or just abandon the project altogether. It seems like they were all putting all their eggs in the basket that he was going to do this thing. And I don't know, was this supposed to be like some kind of like a buddy favor for a studio executive so that he can get something bigger done? Who knows what the whole story here is, but there's something that hasn't been told to us just yet, which is why I'm kind of like hesitant on trying to pick a side one way or another. Because if he just decided that he was just going to back out because he's kooky and weird, and he is kooky and weird. I mean, if you guys remember his Oscar speech, and he spent the whole time whining about like animals and plants or something like that.
And the evils of drinking milk, because we're taking milk from the cows.
Yeah, so he is a weirdo. Let's be very, very clear here. But it seems like there was something else behind the scenes that they really don't want to tell you about that led to this. Because you don't just bail on your own project without good reason. So I'll wait to see how the credits roll on this one.
And
but
they do have insurance, right?
Well, not if. Well, that's the thing though. If he bails out,
then
the whole thing falls apart. So
yeah, they got to find probably other investors, and they got to obviously find a star to be in it. But Joaquin Phoenix remember had that weird "I'm retiring from acting and I'm gonna be a rapper."
I thought that was
he did
all
this documentary.
shtick.
It was a shtick,
Yeah.
but the documentary he created from it with like Casey Affleck or whatever called like "I'm Not Here" or "I'm Not."
Yeah.
I forget what it was. And so I
Where
find
he
that
was doing
odd.
like the interviews, like in character, like he had actually like became a rapper. Yeah.
And again, what's weird about that is it was almost like a play on "I'm you're not there" or whatever the Bob Dylan thing that Todd Haynes did. And so the fact that they were teaming up for this new movie, it's kind of interesting, but something hit a roadblock, So, and this happens all the time in movie productions, but it usually is not this publicized. So we'll see what happens with it, and if it ends up dying or what.
Maybe the last straw was that Todd Haynes wanted to call it the Gapes of Wrath.
I just want to say the concept that's being put forward without the gay part kind of sounds a little interesting. If you sit back and consider, just subtract that gay part out. I know that they were really excited about it, but if you just go in and just kind of scrape that out, you have a NC-17 rated, sexually charged 1930s detective story, which, granted, we don't need a Pornhub kind of story, right? We don't need pee-pee and vagina scenes, but you can have some boobies on screen, and maybe those boobies get touched, okay? Which is an NC-17 rating, I believe. It's above R, I believe, when they get touched. You can show them in an R, but when they get touched, it goes into NC-17, I think. But anyway, the situation, I just want to say this, the situation that they're kind of presenting here, like Rob said, is worth salvaging. Maybe you drop the gay part and you instead, throw a 1930s detective into China and have him fall in love with a daughter of a triad leader,
That would be Chinatown. That would be Chinatown.
Oh, sure.
Or to satisfy Rob's need for 1930s, you could go for Satan Meets a Lady, which is 1930s and the first or second version of the Maltese Falcon. So now I'm back to the correct time period. But you could. Yeah, I don't know if you need to have you could have, if you really wanted to see boobies, just go read SOB and you can see Dame Judy Andrews pop out. Okay.
Or just watch Showgirls again.
It's not so much about the sex scenes, again, they want that, but in my mind, it's more about showing the passion less than it is about the nudity. But I understand where you're coming from, that it's not necessary, but if you wanted to hold that NC-17 rating, nobody's going to argue over a pair of Asian titties. I'm just saying.
If you want to jump ahead 20 years into the 50s, you can watch LA Confidential.
You want to know what I think happened? I think Joaquin Phoenix knew what was going to happen, got cold feet, called up Todd Phillips and said, dude, I need you to call in 5 minutes and say, I absolutely need you for reshoots on Joker 2. So we need you on set now, reshoots, can't wait. And
Mom,
so
call
then
me
he
so I
goes
can
out,
leave, okay?
gets a call. It's like, sorry, I got to go. I can't do this gay shit right now.
No, they would have just delayed filming or shot around him.
Yep.
Yeah, gay people stand around forever to have sex.
Yeah, that's how we got monkeypox. Let's jump over here to our next story.
I didn't say it.
Zegler may just be. How can I say this nicely? Because there's not very many nice words that are coming to my head right now. She is literally box office poison, and she may be the dumbest chick in all of Hollywood right now. I think that's pretty safe to say at this point. She may be the single biggest knuckle dragging moron in the entire. And I say that knowing that Hollywood is full of knuckle dragging morons, but she's taking the cake right now. if you guys don't know, the whole thing about Snow White, this movie is already a disaster before any of this stuff happened. People saw the set photos for this movie and they were like, this movie is going to be awful. And Disney sunk $200 million. And I think it confirmed now it's $210 million on the production for this movie. You had the whole thing about the midgets not being able to get their role in this film. So that was a disaster on that end. The costumes looks terrible, the reshoots, all this stuff. Not to mention this chick who literally came out of nowhere a handful of years ago. She's not a star. Like she's just not. I don't know how she's popular, but if you look at her filmography, the only thing she has on her resume right now is West Side Story. That movie flopped. Shazam 2. That movie flopped. The Hunger Games prequel, which I believe was the lowest drawing Hunger Games movie of the franchise. So that one didn't go over very well either. And now we have Snow White. And so now what the issue is that apparently Disney had their big, preview event last weekend, and now she's at odds with her co-star Gal Gadot because Rachel Zegler supports Palestine and Gal Gadot is from Israel. So now apparently they're beefing, and this is 7 months before this film's supposed to come out. This movie is not supposed to come out until March of 2025, and there's already panic behind the scenes about these two co-stars going at each other's throats over a political issue here. By the way, where's Rachel Zegler from? She's from New Jersey? Make sense, right?
I think she's part Polish and part
Dominican.
She's from Colombia. Like she could have been more detached from this entire topic. We'll get to this here in a second, but yeah. So now, Snow White actress Rachel Zegler is publicly calling for people to free Palestine in the face of her $210 million feature that happens to be co-star with Gal Gadot, who is a well-known Israeli supporter. I think we called this a few months back. If you remember, after the Hamas attacks in October of last year, Gal Gadot rented out an entire movie theater to show what the terrorism that was going on by Hamas, and that upset a lot of pro-Palestine people, by the way. So they already don't like her because of that. But yeah. So this whole thing is escalating now. She wrote this, I guess yesterday actually. It says, "Thank you very much. Thank you for all the love. For over 120 million views on our trailer in just 24 hours. I guess they officially released a trailer for this movie last night. I didn't hear very positive things about it. I didn't see it yet, but I haven't heard much positive from him. I'm going to think of rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet, which is apparently her next movie here. And then she added on to that. And as always, remember, free Palestine. So the post was met with backlash from pro-Israeli people. Everyone noted that, hey, your co-star just happens to be from Israel, and she's very, very strong supporter of Israel. I'm sure that's not going to go over very well with her. So now there's rumors behind the scenes that they don't like each other. Who knows how this escalates? If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, we had the situation with Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde, where they were promoting a movie together, but something happened behind the scenes, and they absolutely refused to talk to one another leading up to the film's release. That movie eventually bombed at the box office, ended up losing money on that whole thing. And now we're sitting here doing the same thing with them. So this is the last thing that Disney needs right now, for a movie that probably needs to make anywhere between $700 and $800 million to break even, to have a proven box office poisoned actress who is so stuck up her own ass that she decided that this is probably the best way to draw a line in the sand on the Palestine-Israel conflict. And guess what? She's not the only actress here who talk about that. We'll talk about that in our closer, but yeah, now everyone's looking at this. It's like, how big of a disaster is this possibly going to be? I don't see any way Disney makes it out of this. This may be one of the worst things that they put out in quite some time. If you've been paying attention to Disney's box office receipts over the last 3 years, they have done this a lot. So, Nerdigans, I'm going to shoot this one over with you because you're our residential Jewish representative here on this show. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Well, what is your thoughts on Rachel Zegler as an actress and her deciding that, Palestine is the hill that she's going to die on?
It's a stupid hill to die on, considering that her movies are ass and that she is not self-aware, because if you look at her, if you look at Snow White's YouTube ratio, let me just pull it up because I have it. I'll share it in
400,000 now to 57,000.
This is from a while ago, mind you.
Well, real quick, as you're pulling that up, I just wanted to let Maurice know she is back in the Fast and Furious franchise. She was in the last movie. She somehow managed.
Alive.
Yeah,
Who,
she
Gal
somehow
Gadot?
managed to survive, even though she got literally BTFO'd out of a moving plane in the movie that she supposedly died in. So,
These people never die, all right? They never die in.
She scraped herself off a fucking runway that was 35 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
That
yeah, all on a plane that was going like 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, these characters never die in this movie.
But she's
It's ready
alive.
to go. But yeah, there it is. You have look at that. 6,273,639 views, 63,374 likes, and look at them dislikes. 444,947 dislikes. So 88% of that likes to dislike ratio are dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
That was from a while ago, like earlier today. So I was just like, I saw that in her quote retweets. I'm like, dude, there's a lack of self-awareness. She has no idea that the majority of those views are dislikes. And there's like over 23,685 comments there. I don't know if they shut off the comment section or not. If they did, if Disney did, then you know it's really, really bad. Mm-hmm. But this movie is just a disaster. Why is it?
She's not likable.
The tax write-off is beyond me.
Even outside of her stupid political opinion, she's not likable in any way, shape, or form, and she's not marketable in any way, shape, or form. Like, I could understand if she was like a big name star. Like, we're not talking about Conor McGregor here, someone who's has a very unlikable personality, but he's a mega draw. Like, this is not it, like at all with her. It's like Steven Spielberg somehow pulled her out of the ether a few years ago for West Side Story, and she somehow became one of the biggest it girls in Hollywood, despite the fact she's never been in anything that can be considered a good movie, and she doesn't draw money. So it's like,
well, she apparently did get a role in Netflix. Netflix's movie Spellbound too. Well, that was one of the movies that was leaked to part of the Netflix leak.
Yeah, and she had a role in that one too. So yeah.
No, just remember that she managed to somehow bully her way into presenting at the Oscars. Apparently, she hadn't been invited to the West Side because West Side Story was nominated, and she made a beef about, I wasn't invited, but thanks everyone. And suddenly they invited her to present, and she even made a joke about it. I would say first, there was no need for her to even mention Palestine. Like, she just added it in a subtweet, like, and remember, Free Palestine. That has nothing to do with the movie.
That's what a lot of these people do, though, Rick. A lot of these people do it. The Genshin Impact activists do it. The trans activists do it. Like, almost all of these Zoomers and like younger.
We've all seen the profiles where it's like, someone with he, her pronouns in their username has like the Ukraine flag, the Palestine flag, the trans flag, the LGBTQ flag, the Black Power fist, and all the other nonsense there to let you know that they're a good person.
It's interesting that so many people kept insisting that you needed to take the phone or the Twitter or X away from Donald Trump. They should take it away from Rachel Zegler, because she is her worst enemy when it comes to things like this. Her comments that she made on the red carpet when she was talking about how weird this whole thing was and how they could cut her male co-star out of it because that's Hollywood, baby. I mean, that was bad enough. Her general comments just sink her. This movie doesn't need that.
Gadot did the same thing.
Yeah, but I would say that Zegler just seems to do it worse. And then Gal Gadot did have Wonder Woman, and she was successful, at least in the first one. She's back in the Fast and Furious, so she has at least some more name recognition than Rachel Zegler. And also, you have to look at how bad the trailer is. Nobody likes the new reworked dwarves, because the first ones were just too ridiculous, even for the people who are woke, quote unquote. And now you've got these animated versions that just look strange. There's nobody wants to see a remake to probably one of the greatest animated films, if not one of the greatest films in general. They just keep sinking this, and 200 million Is that what you said? 200 million already?
210 million confirmed for the
210.
production.
And just remember, Godzilla -1 was 12 million, and that one was just turned out so much better. They need to stop. The inmates are running the asylum, but really, this is the reason why back in the so-called golden age of filmmaking, you didn't get as much political involvement from minor stars. Once you were established, then you could do like James Stewart goes off, very conservative. Myrna Loy goes off very much liberal. But when you're starting out, you don't. And that's what Rachel Zegler doesn't understand. She has this sense of, oh, people need to learn from my esoteric wisdom. Like, you're what? You're like in your 20s? You don't know much when you're in your 20s. You really need to stop. She's her worst enemy.
This production,
23 years old, by the way.
Yeah, this production has got to be cursed. And the reason I say that is because Peter Dinklage opens his fucking mouth. So, he costs how many little people / midgets, whatever the politically correct term is.
7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you cost them jobs.
Stood on the heads of those poor midgets.
Then the set caught on fire.
You get these reports from the, the set, from production, that this is a disaster. Rachel Zegler alienates people in general. And then she opens her big fat mouth and says "Free Palestine," which is like, okay, you're only bringing negative attention to this already weighed down production. That they can't get off the ground.
And as we mentioned before, these stupid, dumb actresses that keep coming out here talk about support Palestine or free Palestine. You guys have absolutely no concept whatsoever of the Israel-Palestine conflict. You're only view of it because you don't believe in God. So obviously that's not your angle here for this story. Your only conflict is like, oh, the Palestine are the poor oppressed brown people, and Israel is the oppressive white people. That's your own concept, which means that you're even stupid in that aspect. So you're torpedoing your own career over something that you can't even mentally grasp.
You know what's sad about all of that is that, what it reveals to me is that all of these people, all they know how to do is follow trends. All they see it as is a trend. They don't actually acknowledge, like they can virtue signal about there's dead people, but it's like, yeah, in every conflict zone there's dead innocent people. That is part of war. That is part of conflict, and it's terrible and it's awful, but it doesn't really give you an excuse to act like you're better or superior to other people. I know what's going on and I care because shut the hell up. Unless you're going to pick up a weapon, shut the fuck up.
Well, Gal Gadot's the only one that has any right to say anything because she does pick up a weapon and she lived there and she served in the IDF.
She's actually from Israel.
Didn't say anything, and I hope she told Rachel Zegler to shut the fuck up at some point.
I mean,
you know what? Just real quick, the sprinkle on the cake for me, if this whole thing does blow up out of control, I just hope that Gal Gadot just punches this chick square in the face. That's all I hope. And then just go full clown show with it. Just go up there and just clock her right in the nose.
No, just think of the press tour. Gal Gadot is going to be asked about these comments, unless they specifically say you can't. It's going to be bad.
That's already what they said.
And imagine if they have to have a joint, not press conference, but a joint press junket where they're going to be sitting together and they have to discuss this. It's going to be, Zegler is so megalomaniacal where she might actually think that she is espousing great wisdom. The person who served in the Israeli Defense Forces and who is Israeli and who has a family there. And she's going to tell her, oh, well, I know more about the Israeli and Arab Palestinians fighting than you do, even though you were in the IDF. I know more. It's going to be bad.
Let the half-breed from New Jersey tell you how about the Palestine-Israel conflict is really going down.
Yeah,
and then have her shame Gal Gadot for serving in the IDF. I'd love to see her do it and see if Gal will punch her in the face or not.
Like I say, and she's so stupid that she probably will end up doing that. And that's probably how this whole thing is going to end. So,
but expect her to be asked. Expect both of them to be asked about it. And let's see what the answers are going to be. I don't know.
That will be peak reality TV if that happens. I want to see because Gal's got to be sick of it. She's had to deal with it for a while, and this is like pre-October 7th, because the anti-Semitism on Twitter and social media in general has just been building up for a while. So
Okay,
you gotta imagine Gal's just sick of it and will snap on her, and it's so.
Yeah, go ahead, Orange.
First off, updated numbers. It's 64 or 65,000 to 458 dislikes, or 458,000. Secondly, have you guys seen the pictures of those two taken together recently?
They look like they don't like each other.
Frickin' Ziegler looks like she's been kidnapped, and she's not happy at all standing next to her. Where you have Gal Gadot basically projecting happiness, joy, and promotion and whatnot. But it's not only that. I mean, the anti-Palestine people, the pro-Israels, are basically saying, we're going to boycott this movie because of Rachel Zegler. And you also have the pro-Palestine people saying that they're going to boycott the movie because of Gal Gadot. Me, I'm boycotting this shit because fucking Rachel Zegler is a fucking twat waffle that disparaged the original. But it's like, you don't fucking disrespect a movie that actually really did pioneer women's rights in film. But the fact that these idiots are only making or ensuring that this movie, which according to some rumors, the budget has ballooned to $300,000 to $400,000 because of reshoots and shit, and also more that thing million. And so,
but it looks like it cost only 300,000. So
yeah, you now have two movies in both Captain America and Snow White, in which the budgets are $400 million. You're going to have to make $1 billion just to break even. And now you got a massive boycott going on from pro-Palestinians and pro-Israels. There is no way that Snow White breaks even. There's no way that they're going to lose like $700 million on this movie. They are going to lose pretty much everything, and they're only going to have themselves to blame. Freaking Gal Gadot, she was with Rachel Zegler when she disparaged Snow White. She's like, she's not going to be saved by the prince. It's going to be more of a modern feminist tale. It's like, Gal, shut the fuck up. I get you are, or with the whole Israel thing, you can talk, but stop fucking pushing your shit as well. That is basically the comparison there, folks, with Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. I mean, it's like, oh shit, man. But yeah, the way that they're playing it and the way that Rachel Zegler is doing, oh yeah, by the way, Free Palestine. She's taking shots at Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot on Instagram is doing nothing but promoting the film with happy-go-lucky fate or joy and shit. However, her press person is erasing all the Free Palestine posts on her comment section. But a person who's been actually covering this a lot better than I have, because I only did one video on it so far, is Jay, Drunk Thepio. Dude's been freaking going ham on this story because he's updating it all the time. But yeah, this, or by tomorrow, or maybe even tomorrow afternoon, I have no doubt that the dislike ratio is going to be near 500,000. Hey, I even made this kind of prediction a while back with another one, or with Rings of Power Season 2. So it might even happen before the night's out. Who knows? But all I know is that Rachel Zegler is box office poison. She's more poisonous than that apple that's in the movie. And she basically is like shoving that poison down Hollywood's throat because she honestly thinks she is the queen of whatever. But what she really is queen shit. And everything she touches turns to shit. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this whole damn thing.
This movie did not need.
I cannot wait to report on it.
This movie did not need more negative publicity, and this is what Rachel Zegler has done. It was already getting trashed because of the.
But this is what happened when you put an immature 23-year-old entitled brat in the face of a $210 million, at least multi-million-dollar picture.
Yes, and now they are, and the sad thing is, Disney is pretty much powerless because it's already out there. This person is a completely loose cannon who is just firing all over, and Disney can't stop her. No, back in the day they could have just controlled their contract players, but now they can't, and it's going to be really bad. It's not going to get any better. People are trashing this movie also for the visuals. They're trashing it for how it looks, for her singing. It's going to get worse, and she is just throwing more gasoline onto the fire. It's just gonna go. It's not going to get any better. That's unfortunate. Though they shouldn't have made the movie at all.
I'll let Eddie and Cider get the last word on this one. Okay, that's great. Brilliant last word.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just wanted to say that when I picture the press tour of Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, as this is what I picture. I have Huey and Homelander.
Yeah, I had it up here for a second ago. There we go.
Yeah. I don't expect you guys to follow this. It's not really important. But the fact is that the guy on the left is trying to kill the guy on the right, and the guy on the right has superpowers. So it's not going well, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the tension between them, is that unbeknownst to the guy with superpowers, is that the guy on the left is trying to kill him. He doesn't know this. So this is how the press tour is going between the two of them.
So Dennis Quaid. Yep.
It's real tense between the two of them, and I honestly think that it's deserved. Spielberg trotted this girl into Hollywood and took her off the leash and just let her loose. Bob Iger was like, "That looks like a man. Let's make a movie out of that." And there's Rachel Zegler's career.
Yep. Eddie.
Snow White arguably should never be recreated. It's a beautiful animated movie, and it's arguable. We don't need more entitled white princesses getting everything they want in the end movies anymore. I'm tired of that. Even if she is mixed, I don't really care about that much.
It's Polish. It's okay.
Yeah. See, she doesn't even. Half the time they don't know they're mixed.
And on that note, let's jump over to our final topic of the night. And this is kind of along the same lines here with this whole Israel and Palestine conflict that all these dumb bimbos are throwing themselves on at this point. But this is a story here that has taken a lot of turns. We've covered this one for long over a year. There was a comment in an interview made by Jenna Ortega. As you guys know, she's the actress from Wednesday. She's coming in the upcoming Beetlejuice 2, playing Winona Ryder's daughter. Like I said, I don't know how that's even... It's stupid. Let's just be very clear about that. So here's how we got to this point here. She made a comment about how Hollywood, you have to tread lightly, and she doesn't like the fact that she's feeling politically oppressed in Hollywood, particularly due to the fact that, her and her co-star from Scream, Melissa Barbara, left the project after they came out publicly against Palestine. Now, Melissa went a lot harder than Jenna did. Melissa basically compared Israel to genocide and the Nazism and all that stuff, which obviously didn't go over very well in modern Hollywood. I wonder why. And then she got fired from that project. Jenna then left the project a day after that whole thing, so they're no longer involved with Scream, but she is involved with this movie. Now, the reason why I wrote this is because a lot of people took Jenna's comments on face value and somehow convinced themselves that, oh, she's one of the good ones. She's one of the ones that's speaking out about all the corruption that's going on in Hollywood. No, she's not. She is not one of the good ones. I had the receipts to prove it here. So let's go ahead and pop this up for Bounding. By the way, I have no idea what's going on with the header on Bounding, but it's only showing half the page on this one for me, and I can't do anything about it on any browser. So that's something that we're going to have to fix here. But the article here that I wrote over the weekend says that Jenna Ortega does not oppose political correctness. She opposes being the target of political correctness. And here's what's happened here. So I'm going to go down here to kind of her comments here. Like I said, explain the whole Scream situation. You know, everything's going on with Israel and Palestine at the moment. So she did this interview with Variety, and this is what she says. Oh, there you go. That works out a lot better. It says that the business that we work in is so touchy-feely, Ortega said, that everyone wants to be politically correct, but I feel like in doing that, we lose a lot of our humanity and integrity because it lacks honesty. She continued, I wish we had a better sense of conversation. Imagine if everyone could say what they felt and not be judged for it. If anything, it sparks some sort of debate, not an argument. Am I describing world peace? Well, that would be great if that's what you actually believed in, but actually, based on your prior history, we know for a fact that's not actually what you believe in. So people were praising her based on just this little excerpt from this interview right here, saying that, like I said, they think that she's somehow their hero. A lot of people falsely compare this chick with Henry Cavill because when she was coming out against like the writers of Wednesday over a character change, they were like, oh, she did just like Henry Cavill did, so we're gonna treat them at the same plane. You absolutely should not, because let me tell you this one, if you are any right of where she is politically, she absolutely despises you, and I have the receipts to prove it. I talked about this several months ago, wrote an article about it last year, and I'm bringing it back. Some of you guys may or may not have remembered the whole fallout between her and her then co-star Ronnie Hawk, who was the star of the show Stuck in the Middle, which is on the Disney Channel a few years ago. It was a show that was on for roughly 3 seasons. It got canceled in 2018, but there was a massive fallout behind the scenes with Jenna Ortega and her co-star at that time period, because her co-star Ronnie Hawk is a Trump supporter, and it got out that, you know, she supports Trump, and everyone in the industry turned on her. Now, she had a couple of social media posts here talking against the pushes for gun control after the Parkland shooting. Here's one of her posts here saying that, listen, y'all, this shooting was a horrific tragedy event, but yelling at our government will not help us. She went on to say, does anyone remember when alcohol was banned and everyone started the unground selling guns? And unground selling guns will be the same. We need to do more to protect ourselves here. So she was making a case against gun control at the heart of Parkland. She was then forced to apologize for what she said. Basically, here's a whole apology here. You guys can read it on your own time. She essentially just says that she was too young to understand the topics that she was talking about, and she was apologizing for upsetting people, right? So she wrote this on April 24th, 2018. This is when, you know, everyone said, oh, she's a Trump supporter. She supports right-wing politics and all this stuff. Her co-star, at least her then co-star, Jenna Ortega, then came out 2 days after she posted that apology and made numerous allegations, basically throwing gasoline into the fire, saying that Ronnie Hawk claimed that she had said horrifically racist things about Mexicans because she supports Trump. This is what she says here. This is what Jenna Ortega claims. When someone says that they hope Trump builds a wall, that Mexicans should be deported because they're taking educational funds from white people just because they're minorities, and then go on to claim they're Latina when it works for them, shake my head. She then doubled down on this by saying that when you say that all Mexicans are gardeners, to my face, a Mexican, yet you have the privilege to play one on TV. Yes, I said privilege. So on top of the fact that everyone was already going after her for being a Trump supporter, then Jenna Ortega basically stuck the knife firmly in the back for her co-star due to the fact that she had a different political opinion than her. Now, to this day, the only evidence that exists out there that Ronnie Hawk said anything remotely racist about Mexicans is in fact Jenna Ortega. So some people were actually trying to defend this by saying that, oh, well, Jenna had nothing to do with Ronnie Hawk being canceled. Ronnie got canceled because she was a terrible person, said all these horrible things. Okay, who's your source for her saying all these things? Oh, yeah, that's right, Jenna Ortega. I forgot. So as it's clear here, this has been 5 years since he posted this. She's never taken down the tweet. She's never apologized, which I think is pretty safe to assume she stands by everything she said about Ronnie Hawk several years ago. But what you see here is an example of someone who had a different political opinion that wasn't approved in the industry at the time, and Ortega had absolutely no problem whatsoever with sticking the knife in and twisting it until the person was dead, right? Ronnie Hawk's career hasn't recovered since then. She's basically been blacklisted from the industry, while Jenna Ortega's career at the same token has skyrocketed with the Scream franchise, with Wednesday, now with Beetlejuice and other things. So it worked out very, very well for her. So what you're seeing here is that someone, the same person who's claiming that, hey, wouldn't it be great if we can all be open about, you know, our political opinions? She's only saying that now because her co-star friend from the Screen movies has now been getting the same treatment that Ronnie Hawk got because she openly supported Palestine and opposed Israel in her industry. And because she wants to openly support Palestine too, she realizes that she can't do that right now without losing a whole bunch of opportunities. So now she's the one who's feeling the oppression of being silenced in her industry for having political opinions that she doesn't that the industry doesn't approve of. And now all of a sudden she wants everyone to hold hands and sing Kumbaya when she is completely full of crap. So I just want everyone to know this full the disclosure here. So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen several major YouTubers doing videos about this story, and they're trying to frame her in a positive light. I'm here to tell you that she will absolutely not hesitate whatsoever to stick the knife in you, given the opportunity of the whole situation here. And now you guys have the full story with receipts. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one off with Orange Hat here, because you did kind of cover this one on your Monday night rant show. Orange, I wanted you to get your thoughts on the Jenna Ortega story. What do you think of her new comments based on her past history regarding this very issue?
Well, originally I did think that maybe, hey, I fully admit, I thought she might have been getting a wake-up call, but I honestly did start thinking back, and then suddenly your fucking article appears, and it's like, you know what, that is a good point, and it's exactly along the lines I was thinking, because it's like, didn't she freaking try ruining a couple people's lives in Disney and whatnot? So yeah, she doesn't like the fact that this shit happened to her, because it's happening to her and it's happening to others, and it's like, you guys created this fucking monster. Now you don't like the fact that it got so freaking fat and it's no longer able to eat on other people. So now it's only turning towards the only source of food that's left, and you're it. So yeah, congratulations, you played yourselves. And if you honestly thought that it was a good idea to keep doing this shit, well, maybe you should have thought about that beforehand, because I don't really care how much or what you think of political shit, Jenna, but you want, or that shut up and dribble. Well, here's the thing. For actors, shut the fuck up and act. We don't give a fuck what you believe politically. Your politics, sure, you have every right to express them. But just know that the more you continue to push this stupidity, the more you continue to just keep drolling on about, oh, this person says this person's a Trump supporter. Nobody gives a fuck what your opinion is. All they want to do is see you on screen acting. They want to see you fucking, I don't know, blowing up your brother in Wednesday. They want to see you fucking kicking somebody's ass in, I don't know, fucking whatever. They just want you to shut the fuck up and act. Because honestly, I'm sick of all the fucking politics in Hollywood. It fucking ruined Hollywood. Why do you think Hollywood has literally lost 60% of total earnings from 2016 to now? I'm pretty sure it's actually a little bit more than 60%, because a lot of their fucking movies have been bombing. And most of us are only paying attention to Disney because fucking Disney is trash and they're fucking evil as shit. But they are losing so much fucking money, they don't fucking care. All these people are now fucking complaining, oh, we're not getting paid enough. Maybe if you fucking made quality content and kept your fucking mouths shut, people might actually fucking watch your shit again. But hey, that's
I want to throw this out here too, just real quick too. Jenna Ortega is 21 years old. There seems to be an epidemic of young dumb bimbos mouthing off their opinions of things they have absolutely no context of.
Didn't she? True, and didn't she also make a fucking movie about where she blackmailed a teacher by fucking him and getting pregnant?
Yeah, that was Miller's Girl. We watched that. Did we review that one, Rob, or was that just me who saw that?
No, movie? I didn't watch it. I was like, yeah,
all I know is that
touch that one.
Chances are, well, she was perfectly cast for that, because she kind of actually makes me think she is the kind of person to fucking do that in real life. She would actually fuck a teacher and fucking blackmail his ass.
Yeah.
The irony is that she actually fits very much a character from a movie that came out this year that I like quite a bit, and kind of shows what Hollywood really is comprised of. She very much reminds me of Maxine, the character of Maxine. You know, and obviously she doesn't murder anybody that we know of, but this idea of like the star-driven starlet who will do anything to get to the top or get some slice of fame, some piece of immortality in the silver screen or whatever. That's who she is. That's who this person, at least I'm reminded of, because that's what her trajectory has shown. I mean, she has a modicum of talent, a modicum of notoriety. People barely know who she is, and she's thrown co-stars under the bus. Presents herself as like, I'm conscientious about these things, and I don't want to see people be. And it's like, you're a lying, manipulative bitch. Just shut the fuck up. You're 21 years old and you're lying through your teeth. And granted, actors are professional liars, so I'm not really that surprised. But my fear is that this new crop of actors are political because they don't have talent. You see, that's the thing that I'm afraid of, is that all of these people, all these newcomers, they project what their values are. They tell you how caring and thoughtful they are, because their performances and their talent doesn't actually show up on screen. There's a few exceptions, with Austin. But do you hear Austin Butler talk about politics? Do you ever hear? Do you hear Florence Pugh talk about politics? No. They're literally talking about their role. They're talking about their relationship with the director, whatever. But those are at least two examples of like, okay, they don't have to. I think both of those people have either been nominated for or have won Academy Awards. So
they've both been nominated. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't. Okay, thank you. I don't think Jenny Ortega is really in danger of that territory. So by the way, I'm the one that originally called this out. I saw the Variety article and I was like, didn't you throw your co-star under the bus for being a Trump supporter? And then the response from people who, stan pages, people, idiots who are just fans who just want to defend their celebrity that they love at all costs.
How dare you?
And it's just like, you're literally following somebody who is a massive hypocrite. And I even trolled people a little bit further, where it was like, even if she said racist things, guess what? That's still free speech, asshole. That's like, you don't even know what you're arguing for. Which again, the only source of that is Jenny Ortega. So it's sort of a non-starter, but it's just like, this is a disingenuous, hypocritical young woman. And, there's a modicum of talent there, okay, but but the best part of X was her murdered, to be fair. So I'll leave it at that. I have not seen much out of her to say that I'm excited to see what she does next, but just for keep a lid on it. Just keep the politics to a minimum. Nobody cares. And your own track record speaks to that.
Eddie, what's your thoughts on this story?
I completely defend Jenny Ortega. Good job, girl.
Get this guy off my shit. Get this heretic off my shit.
I don't know. No, good for. I mean, no, she's a Disney star, and that's how Disney stars think. Honestly, I think a lot of this Free Palestine and all this other stuff, I think it's all like the Brat Pack, like it's just like trying to go against old Hollywood, what they consider old Hollywood. I guess Gal Gadot is considered old Hollywood, and so are all of Disney and everyone else. So, and to that point, like Jenny Ortega believes that old Hollywood is like, old Hollywood's keeping her down and not letting her express herself the right way and all this other stuff. So
like, she's 21 years old. What's her concept of old Hollywood? Like Angelina Jolie?
Like Angelina Jolie and Helen Hunt are old Hollywood to Jenna Ortega. And I completely understand where she's coming from in that regard, but no, she's absolutely going it the wrong way, and apparently she's been a hypocrite this whole time. Dummies will do anything on the internet to stand for their celebrities, and it's sad that all you need is a few thousand people to follow you, and you can tell a few thousand people what to do. So
yeah, that's all it requires these days, unfortunately. Nerdigans, I want to get your take on this story.
In terms of the stands, if you have never seen like Nicki Minaj stands or Megan Thee Stallion stands or Beyonce stands or hell, even Swifties.
Yeah.
Swifties are psycho.
Yep.
They're like, you think that like Megan Thee Stallion fans or Beyonce fans or hell, Nicki Minaj fans are psycho. No, they got nothing on Swifties. They are next level psycho.
Yeah, we saw the video of when they went to her concert movie, and they're almost
crying.
Yeah, the crying and the dancing and the almost literal worshiping the screen.
It was like that with Justin Bieber back in the day too.
What was what's Johnny Depp's ex-wife's name? Amber Heard. Like that one, I'm still shocked. I'm still like, I get those occasionally, and I'm like, why does she have fans? Like,
and that's what I want to know too. Like, how does she still have stands after everything?
Yeah,
she showed her body. That's why.
Yeah, but she did that when
these are women. These are
the
women
Informers
that stand there.
In 2007. She did that. You know what I mean?
There is a such thing as lesbians.
True. This is true.
Hillary Clinton has stands. I mean,
yeah, I know.
And she threatened to kill all of her stands. There's a difference.
I say, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a lot of middle-aged men on Twitter right now saying, "Hey, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris."
What's his name? Samwise Gamgee, the bloated lesbian Samwise.
Yeah, big Joey.
Okay. Isn't he like doing a tour of the country for Kamala?
He's got to spend his Hobbit money on something.
Fucking Sean Astin said he doesn't like being Samwise anymore. Is that what I just heard?
No.
No. Well, I mean,
God, because I was about to say that motherfucker's about to die.
No, he's opening up the campaign for hobbits for Kamala.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
They're gonna be serving nothing but potatoes. I would just say that I think that the fact that Jenna Ortega has a major movie coming out, might be a reason why maybe she wants to downplay, like, oh yes, I have these political opinions about the Arab Jewish conflict, but don't hold that against me, and thus don't hold it against any potential box office that you might have with this big movie. I mean, it is a big movie. Beetlejuice. They're certainly doing their best.
It's 2.5 hours long too.
It's gonna fail. I'm sorry.
2.5 hours long.
I loved the original. Okay, I want it to be good more than anybody, or as much as anybody. It just looks like a cringe-inducing piece of shit. And the fact that Jenna Ortega's in it, just because why? She was Wednesday, so she's a gothy girl that you can. I mean, it's such a lazy piece of casting, but whatever. I will wait till see it. I'll go. My mom wants to go see it, so I'll go see it. Whatever.
Well,
but it's just ugh.
We just saw the first Beetlejuice in a special screening, and it was quite entertaining. But yeah, if 2.5 hour long sequel, and you can't even get Sylvia Sidney to come back.
We talked about it. It's the original is 90 minutes. The original is 90 minutes. It's like, what are you doing? You're making something that's over an hour longer. That's just like it. Okay.
Well, by the way, again, this is a woman who went after Ronnie Hawk because you're pretending to play a Latina on screen. It's like, so are you pretending to be a Jewish woman on screen, pretending to be Winona Ryder's daughter? Is like, isn't that hypocritical?
Just for the record, you could be Hispanic or Latino, Latina. It does not have a set look, because Rita Hayworth could be Latina. Ricardo Montalban.
No, if you're gonna be a Mexican on TV, you gotta look like either Danny Trejo or Eddie Guerrero. There's no in between.
Hey, Charlton Heston played a great Mexican, okay, in Touch of Evil.
Well, I will say, it's interesting that
George Michael
Charlton Heston, he's fine. He's actually pretty good, and he's the hero. I mean, that people forget.
Wallach, Eli Wallach isn't even Mexican; he's Jewish. You know what I mean? That was a big one.
I mean, if we played Zorro in the Gay Blade,
that was George Hamilton.
If we dyed Nerdigan's hair, got her. If we dyed Nerdigan's hair, got her a bandana and some fake face tattoos, we could convince at least 40% of people that she's Mexican.
Actually, when I had blonde streaks in my hair, people thought I was Mexican, especially when
remember that Antonio Banderas played Pancho Villa, so I mean, at least they're getting closer.
Antonio Banderas also played a Muslim from Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, guys, it's called acting.
Didn't Sean Connery play one?
Sean Connery played a fucking Russian.
And a Spaniard.
And Zardoz, too.
No, he played an Egyptian.
He
played an Egyptian in Highlander.
No, I don't understand this whole idea that you have to have a particular look to play Hispanic, because Hispanic could be any shade. That's true. Not a race. It's an ethnicity.
That is very true. You are absolutely right.
So it's not.
We're just pointing out the ridiculousness of it.
Because I actually know someone that's like as black as Jacob. That's from Panama, and Jacob knows him too. It's Tommy Sotomayor. He's actually from Panama.
Yeah, there's a lot of black Puerto Ricans and Dominican over there. Look at
all those people are just black to me because it's about skin color, not nation of origin. See,
Listen,
black was always about the color.
If I'm going to be racist, I'm going to be very specific about.
No, exactly, because it's literal to the thing. You know what I mean?
It's literal.
I mean, in all honesty,
I'm a literal racist.
Black people in America complaining about black players from the Dominican pretending to be black, they're not real black or something like that. People have literally whined about. Yeah, people are stupid in 2024. Cider. I know this is a stunning development, but yeah, there's a lot of dummies out there. But I'll let you get the last word on this topic before we wrap things up.
I'm sorry that it's come to that. That's all I've got to say. The whole thing. I'm just sorry that it's come to that.
Yep, and that's what it's down to.
You have my condolences.
So yeah, my final thoughts on this whole thing is that if she's gonna sit there and try to pretend she wants everyone with different opinions to come together, it's why don't you go speak to Ronnie Hawking and patch up that bridge before I hail you as the hero.
Maybe Ronnie will make a cameo in Beetlejuice where they can hug it out. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Or if they're really Mexican, just stab it out like they used to do at the Raiders game. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here for the night. Thank you all you guys for joining me here. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of spotlight here. We're going to start with this man over here, Mr. Eddie Brock. What do you got working on that people should know about?
What do I got working on? I got, what do I have? I don't have much. Actually, right now I'm just working a lot outside, so I'm not really concerned about what's going on. I've been behind on the internet for so long, so what do I can plug? I'm writing an NC-17 comedy, so I guess that'll work out.
With Joaquin Phoenix?
Hopefully, I'd like to get Joaquin. I have the exact role for him too. It'd be perfect.
I would actually want to read that whenever you get done with it. So.
It's about an aging gigolo and a middle-aged fluffer trying to get into the largest Jeffrey Epstein party in history, and the complications that go into it.
Oh, I hope it's complicated. I hope I hope it's not easy. I hope there's a little bit of a hoop to get through.
It's going to be like a Scooby-Doo adventure inside of Epstein Island.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not gonna. You just spoiled the third act for me. Thanks, Jacob. Jeez.
Eddie, I'll await your commentary on the Criterion release.
Oh, it's me. Hi.
Hey,
I talk now. Hi. Yeah, bounding into comics, we talk about things that are less mind-scarring, but only slightly. We just covered Ubisoft trying to tell us again that they've created authentic Japan with Yasuke and Naoe and all their crazy adaptions they've made. And that's, of course, all a lie, as we disprove in the video. By the way, check out the website. As Jacob noted, there's a little goofiness there at the top. I think it's a video ad that just isn't coming through. So you give it a couple of seconds, it'll load through and get out of the way for you, and then you're free to roam the site and check out all the things we've got going on over there. Right now, we're covering the weirdest thing. Pokemon live-action movie is coming out, maybe a series to follow, and Ash is not the main character.
Of course not.
That's dumb. And why would we do that? Why would anyone do that? Okay.
We'll have to wait and find out.
Team Rocket's revenge.
Orange, go ahead.
So I'm doing Tuesday theme streams. The theme for August is badass actors. I just got done doing one on Arnold Schwarzenegger. Next week is Sylvester Stallone. And Wednesdays, next week and the week after are going to be ones and twos with my friend Jade Shadow, Mara, on her channel, 8:30 p.m. We're going to be doing Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. And then the Thursdays following those Wednesdays are going to be Quick and the Dead and G.I. Jane in the opposite order. Exclusively on X because YouTube kept on pulling my bids. And for Fridays, it's Orange Hat Uncensored, or late at night, 10 p.m. Sundays is weekly recap with my friends Ambassador and Kate from Nerd with a Cigar. Monday night rants at 9 p.m. where I rant about all sorts of stuff. I canceled last night because there was the Trump interview, and that just went for 3 fucking hours, and it's like I want to do it after, but I wasn't going to midnight, man. Sorry. But so it's pushed back a week. And then Tuesdays, Barroom Podcast, 9 p.m. here. So, yeah.
All right.
Sub to my channel. I'm also looking for 2,000 subs.
Cool. Nerdigans, I'm glad for joining us here tonight. Where can I find people more of you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Nerdigans Inc., where we cover manga and anime every day. I'm putting more anime content up on my Patreon. I just did like 2 anime videos up there today, and that's at patreon.com/packergirl. Tomorrow, I'm hoping that we're doing 01 still. Are we, Cider?
Yeah. Nothing's changed, by knowledge.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff, like, because I know we're going to be doing the anime Tokyo Happy Hour stuff, and man, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of stupidity happening, including the article I'm writing about, because if you're a One Piece fan, you know about the Trans-Yamato situation. Yeah, it's come back. Again, yeah. And of course, it's thanks to Bandai Namco deciding to mistranslate a One Piece card. Yeah. But anyways, besides that, you can follow me on Twitter, which is in my my Twitter handles and my name thing.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure I told you this once before, but you do have to put that on there because for whatever reason, you're like shadow banned. No one can actually search your name on the engine and find you.
I'm shadow banned again?
Yeah, you may want to look into that.
I know how you feel.
No, well, that probably explains a lot. I'm gonna have to tweet about it. I've been banned into the Twitter shadow realm.
If you put a couple posts that say shadow banned, it usually is enough to get on shadow banned.
Mm-hmm. You have to realize you've been shadow banned and then call them out on it before they unshadow ban you.
Well, I've been calling Twitter out for like for suppressing my tweets for like a while now, and I figured that's what sent me to the shadow realm.
I like the shadow realm. Makes me feel like I'm in Fight Club.
I wanted to ask you about this too, since the Pokemon voice actress died yesterday.
R.I.P.
Yeah, did you want to do like a retro way for that, or with the Nickelodeon anniversaries for like it was Ren and Stimpy, Doug, and Rugrats was the other day? Did you want to do a retro wave?
Well, for the Pokemon one, I want to set on like what era, because there's a bunch of different ways you can go about that, because the different seasons of Pokemon, different video games, stuff like that. So once we like narrow down to like a specific like era of Pokemon, yeah, we can do it. Then the Nickelodeon.
She was there. She was Misty for and Jigglypuff and Jessie for at least Indigo, Johto, and she left in she came back for a bit in Hoenn. Or no, she was Jessie and Hoenn. And then I think I'm trying to remember if she stayed for Battle Frontier or left. Left when 4Kids like left. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, but at least for sure for Indigo through Hoenn, she was there. So if we want to do that.
Yeah, we'll definitely look into that. I can do something with that in the future. Mr. Rick, this is your time to shine. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, all I've got are the Summer Under the Stars reviews. I have a few that will be published to coincide with that particular actor or actress, and just other reviews of older films, maybe some newer films. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and this is going to be the last time that I actually show up on time. At least for a while. So it's been delightful being able to participate right from the get go. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week at a later date. I mean, a later time. So there you go. Thank you, everyone.
All right, Rob.
Howdy, everybody. Yeah, kind of busy. I've got a podcast that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. There's a bunch of stuff to talk about, including Vince Vaughn's comments on comedies and James Cameron being a twat. And Thursday, I'm watching Alien Romulus, which we're going to review Friday night, along with the other Alien movies, I guess, or talk about them. Rick isn't going to be there for that, so boo. He won't see that cinematic masterpiece, I guess. But yeah, other than that, my Twitter is pretty much where you can find all my thoughts and rantings and ravings and things I shouldn't be talking about and be more movie focused. But I should have some more reviews up shortly. So there, my YouTube is just handle is Rob Motto Movies. That's where my podcasts get posted, or you can watch the replay on Twitter as well. So just check it out.
All right. And then you guys know what I got coming up here. This Friday, we'll be doing a review on the new Aliens movie that's coming out this week. Was it Romulus or something like that? And we'll also be talking about, obviously, the Aliens movie up to Aliens franchise, as I say, up to this point will also be discussed on Friday. So we should have a few people on for that show this Friday night at 10 p.m. This coming Sunday, the next episode of the Bible Lens podcast, we'll be talking about Paul's Gospel, and we'll talk about the pre-tribulation rapture. That'll be a very interesting one on Sunday. Check out the one I did last week on Hollywood's connection to Freemasonry. That was a pretty eye-opening one for a lot of people. And then I know I just did a show with MSK earlier tonight. We talked about the Borderlands movie, so if you guys want to check that out, go check over on his channel for that one as well. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back here, same time, same place. So for everyone over here who joined us throughout the course of the night, shout out to Descum and Keith over on our Rumble side. I did not forget about you. I was trying to mention you guys a couple of times. I just forgot to, but I do recall you guys still here. I have a brand new outro here for all of you guys joining us here on the show tonight. You can thank Cider for providing the music for this one. So if you don't like it, it's all his fault. But thank you very much for joining us. Adios, goodbye. We will see you all later.
Okay. Oh.
Making your way through the daily grind takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to tune away? All those nights when you're feeling low, the rent is overdue, and your coffee maker's broken, your luck just seems to skew, and your boss is always on your case. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed and you feel the dread. The morning's looking bleak, and your internet is down again. You haven't slept all week, and your car just broke down on the way. Be glad there's a place online where you can feel at ease. In the Barroom Podcast, friends, we share our thoughts and teas. Every story shared, every laugh so free. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. So here's to the moments we all hold dear. In this barroom of the airwaves with friends so near. Every story shared, every heartfelt cheer. It's more than just a podcast, it's where we steer.
I still don't feel like I know how to shoot these things.